I am Ground Commander Vodakov, the 43rd Company of Foot, Ajax's 9th Legion. And you are coming with me. Yay!
Woo!
Back. We lost one Lars, but he will return. Is there? Should we do before we start the battle? No, let's just get started. So there's a bunch of orcs that are here on the deck. There are NPC pirate dudes that I'm not gonna track right this second. Your retainers are on that part of the ship on an upper, a smaller deck. And there are more orcs coming up. And Ground Commander Vodakov is inviting you to be guests of Ajax.
That doesn't sound like an invitation to me.
Yeah.
Guests.
I mean, he told the captain to turn the ship around.
Yeah. And the captain's, Captain Massingham, Lady Massingham is looking from you to Ground Commander Vodakov.
Don't turn the ship around.
She hasn't done anything yet.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's have at it.
How many are there?
Well, right now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But there are more coming out of the hole.
I mean, I'm guessing just because they're literally soldiers of Ajax carrying the emblem on their armor, we're probably not going to talk our way out of this.
Probably not up to negotiation.
No. So.
Oh, there's no need for violence. Ajax knows you were not responsible for the events at the cathedral. Besides, you could use men like you. Smart. Tough. Your commander is dead. He paid for his sins.
Well, we have a new commander.
Oh, and who is this brave person?
Sorry, sweet.
Is it you?
No.
I want Sweet to walk up to this commander.
Okay. I gave you a laser pointer, by the way. Although we know which one you are.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which
Lars,
one? Which one of
Right
these
there.
is this? The commander right here?
Yeah.
So you want to walk up?
He doesn't. Sorry, his thing's not magnetized.
Just nonchalant, like
Where do you want to go? Here? Point. Use your...
right in front of his ass.
Did your laser pointer work already?
There, right there.
No, you guys don't have surprise. Like,
No, I know. I'm
everybody
not
knows
walking
what's
up to him, giving him the impression that I'm like rushing him.
Acting
Right.
casual.
Right, just gonna walk up to him
Let's
like we're gonna have a
It's your
conversation.
initiative tracker thing.
I only
Where
got
they-
through half.
Why aren't they up here? Where they belong?
I figured you'd put 'em
Two
up
of them
for
are
sure.
gonna be a little taller than the others.
All right. Okay. We'll do better next
What kind of bullshit arts and crafts?
We'll do
is
better
this?
next. We'll do better next time.
I was testing it until you told me they were bad, and I stopped. So they're not done.
We're not going anywhere, pal. Maybe you guys should join us. We could use some good soldiers.
Ajax feels the same way. You'll get paid more working for the winning side.
So what do you think? Can we take him out? We've got like 60 people of ours on the ship.
I'm thinking.
Oh God. It's just some
The-
So
the
more
way,
of
the
them
more
are coming up.
Yep.
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 Yeah.
What does the what's the group look like? Are they all basically do they look pretty formidable?
Well,
Like are they actually armored with like weapons and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
they're what you see currently is a well-armored and also uniformed commander. And the others are orcs wearing, they're slightly less well-armored, but they're also wearing uniforms, and they've got the insignia of Ajax's troops. You would serve the Lord of all the world well. You would be his elite troops, treated well, treated like kings.
No.
That's,
I mean, I think. I mean, I don't think Sweet's a man of few words. I think he's just gonna fucking pound this guy in the
you
face.
gonna-
I'm gonna walk up and
What?
say, "We don't work for tyrants."
There, that's a good one.
Good line.
It's King. It's Lars' new character.
Mhm.
Lars, what character did you make? So because I don't think anybody here knows.
I am a Tempest cleric,
Ooh.
Which is I think
So-
the same thing I was in your game.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
so lightning cleric, heavy armor.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're just taking a swing at this guy, then
Yeah.
it's initiative.
Okay.
There we go.
Do it. No more talking.
No more talk.
This one this time because the other one was screwing me my initiative.
16.
What's his name? Ground
Tom, I rolled
Commander
your,
Vortigern?
your copper die.
No, you didn't.
I did. It rolled really well. I rolled 2 18s, a 14, and a 12.
Hey,
Where's
look, you
the-
put it down on 20.
Where's I was gonna point to Wankmaster.
Oh.
It's not there anymore.
I got a 16.
So I-
Motherfucker.
if you tell me now, I'm going to forget. I
I
got
know.
to roll my my stuff.
I'm just saying it to fill the silence.
I don't need this. I don't need that. Maybe.
Said his name was Ground Commander Vortigern, right?
Yeah. All the members of the ship, all the ship's crew, are all like climbing up into the rigging and getting onto the other decks, the forecastle, and just trying to get the hell out. Away from
Clear
you
this.
guys.
That's wise.
Clear the deck. Clear the deck.
What I don't have, and I guess what I no, I can use posters for now.
Can I make the assumption that this boat is made of wood and is therefore flammable?
Yes.
Uh,
Although, like
Figured as such.
fireballs tend to just go poof, and they don't necessarily instantly light all wood on fire. Especially this wood's all been treated.
Okay.
Man, I
Good
hope
to
we
know.
just like eat these.
Let's see.
We'll see.
If you had some like oil or something, you might be able to catch it on.
This guy could have rolled a lot better. All right. Who had the highest initiative?
I had 15.
So Copper is at a 15.
16.
Nails, what'd you get?
19.
Nice.
King
11.
and Judge.
7.
Okay, so
Why are you laughing?
you know,
Because he went to move it, and he's like, "Oh, okay." And just put it further down the line.
and then 7. And what's King at?
11.
Okay, well, that's good to know. And I don't have numbers written on here. Sweet, what were you?
16.
Copper,
15.
King.
11.
Right. Okay. Got it. This is gonna be tricky.
Mhm.
Well, it would be probably easier if we just use the hanging cardboard things, but we wanted to try that. We wanted to try this for this one session, so the people watching could see. But I don't think if you can see through the
Nah.
camera, I don't think these things show up on the camera. There we go.
This one they do.
Really?
No, on that one they do.
Well, I don't know.
Well, that-
I think that's the only camera that you can see on the tactical stream because we couldn't get like. Oh, today everything works. Jerry says. Yay, Jerry! Today everything works. Yeah, because we have a ridiculous number of cameras and they're all pumping out high definition nonsense.
All right.
MCDM. High definition nonsense.
Yeah, I would say that's accurate. All right, Nail. No, actually,
Yeah.
Let's see. First, is Nails.
All right, I'm going to. Move
Just
there.
for people watching, we're still very, very early in this campaign. People figuring out how their characters and or the game work. So we all have to be patient, and we're going to learn together.
And I cast Mirror Image.
Go. So now there are many Nielses.
Yes.
How many Nielses are there?
There are 4 of me occupying that space,
And does that include the real you?
including the real me.
Nice. Cool.
One of them is the real me,
Correct.
but it is extremely difficult to
It
tell.
is very difficult to tell.
Where are
easiest way
all
to
the
tell-
rest of them?
They're all just staying in the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that accurate? They all
Mhm.
occupy the same space.
Yeah, they occupy the same space.
Oh,
It just makes it hard to target a specific one.
gotcha. Okay.
But obviously, if you target the area, I imagine something useful would happen. Sweet! Why don't you punch this guy?
I'm
I know
gonna-
that's what you want to do.
I know.
Phil.
I want to fucking drill this guy.
I beg your pardon.
So this guy has not gone yet, so I have an advantage against him.
That's the pugilist.
Oh yeah.
And you're going to do the haymaker thing.
I am going to swing
So that you
haymakers.
do it, you're inflicting. The haymaker inflicts disadvantage on yourself, but you have advantage because your special ability is if I haven't acted yet.
Exactly.
We got together over the weekend on Saturday and ran some danger room scenarios so we could all learn each other's abilities.
So that's 23.
You hit.
Okay, first one hits. Second one
Should we be trying to stay away from that area?
is a
Should we be trying to stay away from that area?
I don't think so.
sorry, math.
Uh,
Fuck, why can't I think? 14.
14 misses. This guy's wearing chainmail.
All right, so first one hits. All right, so that's full damage. So that's yeah. I
So
don't-
what does it look like when Sweet swings a haymaker?
What does it look like?
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
probably has a bit of an angle to it. A little bit of.
Nice. Moving.
Okay.
well, there's
Sure.
one too, but I know that you
I don't
got
know.
certain
Um,
capabilities.
Okay, so I do not have to roll the damage die. I use the maximum die roll instead. So that's 8 plus 5.
Don't really have, like, a nuke that's,
So
blah, 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 shit.
13 damage
Shatter works.
13 damage.
for that one hit. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Yeah,
let's
but I
see
don't
here.
think I'm gonna
Think.
save, and that works.
See, I got a couple of choices that I could do for bonus action here. I think I'm going to spend. I'm going to do.
So you smack him. There's this loud crack
Yeah.
as Sweet's fist connects with the guy's jaw, and it snaps his neck back, and then he looks back at you and says, "Ajax knows you were not responsible for what happened at the cathedral, but if you kill me, he'll make your death personal."
I mean,
Is that Sweet's action?
he's not. Well, no. I'm going to I'm going to spend a grit point.
Okay.
Just for anyone who's familiar with the pugilist to change the moxie to grit. Just,
Oh yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. Thought it
That's great.
sounded
Sounds
cool.
better. Yeah.
And I'm going to do a brace up.
So Moxie, aka Grit, is their version of like key.
Yeah.
For the monk.
Yeah. I'm going to spend a grit point. I'm going to do brace up. So I can roll my fisticuffs die plus my pugilist level plus my constitution and gain that many temporary hit points.
Oh, nice.
4 plus 5, 9 plus 3. So I get 12 temp.
I don't know. You're the chronicler, right, King?
Mhm.
I have not yet figured out what the chronicler does, what their special ability is. So that's something I'm gonna have to think about.
I'm now done.
That was Sweet. It's Copper and Big Cat.
All right. Here we go. I'm gonna shoot that guy.
Okay.
20.
20 hits.
Okay.
This guy is dead.
Okay.
He is a
Nice.
minion.
That's my first hit. I'll attack.
Minions have all the same stats of a normal dude, except they only have 1 hit point.
Okay.
And they do not take half damage from failed saves. Sorcerer.
Cool.
If they make their save, they're fine. If they fail their save, they take max damage.
Okay, I'll attack that guy. 80 range.
If there are any of these orcs that aren't minions, I will describe them as looking different.
We should probably not kill this guy, and because like one of the things you can do, like this is a game mechanic thing, right? Where it's like you can opt whenever you do like a
Yeah,
what
you
would
can do
be
some
like a
dual
killing
damage.
blow.
Yeah,
Yeah, you basically just knock them out.
yeah, you can decide. You can decide to do some dual damage. And I think you can even decide to do it after you've figured out whether or not they go down. Tom,
24. I see my
AC
hit.
24 hits.
And then
Who's he shooting at?
Oh, sorry, this guy right here.
Okay.
For 11 damage.
He's a minion.
And then so then I'll have Big Cat move 40,
Move, big cat, move.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. He's done.
Okay, that is Copper and Big Cat. Now it is the boss guy.
Just give him like give him one of these.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll attack you. He may end up using some dual damage to try to, but for now, he's just going to hear the damage.
Okay.
Phil, what's your armor class?
15.
11 plus 6 is 17. 6 and 4 is 10.
Mhm.
Plus 4 is you take 14 points of damage.
Okay.
He great axes you.
He fucking shits and falls in is what he does.
Phil, next time you gotta.
Now it is King.
I only took 2 points of damage.
Go, go,
Okay.
go.
Bill, you're full health right now, right?
I'm 2 down.
Two down.
Fine.
Okay, well, we're gonna gamble.
Just
Ooh,
oh, nice.
this is gonna be exciting.
I cast Thunderwave. So 15 feet around me.
Okay, is that? But
Is
it's, in,
a
it's,
cons-
one, it's in one direction, right?
Not from
It's
what
a-
I read.
isn't
It's
it-
that
it's
a
a-
cube emanates from me.
Yeah, a cube emanates from you. So here's you,
Hmm.
and here's the cube.
Okay.
So you pick a 3x3 square, and one of those facings has to be in front of you.
So then I should go here. and
I
do that
think
and
I
shoot
think
here.
is how it works.
Well, we're learning. I didn't cast Thunderwave in our test stuff. So,
Well,
but now
look
is the
it up.
time. Well, I have it right here.
Okay.
A wave of thunderous force sweeps out from you.
Yeah.
Each creature in a 15-foot cube originating from you.
Yeah.
Must make a Constitution saving throw on a sailed.
Yeah, well, I think
on a
that's
failed
yeah.
save.
This is how I interpret it. So you pick the 3 squares, and
Cube is in front.
This point.
So yeah, I thought it would come from me. So would I just put that from me here, and then it would go?
yeah, but I don't
15
think
feet.
that's how it works. It's there's a 15-foot cube, and you stand here, and you can put the cube wherever you want, but it's not you're in the middle of it. It goes out.
Okay, I get it. So then I would want to go.
It's a 3x3 cube, and one edge is adjacent to you.
Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There's a poll right now that's live on Twitch where folks get to vote on how the crew of the Ross Cielo feel about the fact that you guys are trying to commandeer their boat.
We're not trying to come
We're
in
not
your
trying to
boat.
commandeer their boat.
Well, that's
We'll
certainly
pay
one
them.
point of view.
Okay, yeah.
So 15-foot cube.
Mhm.
So I at least hit these two.
Okay.
You can
And
tell me
that-
if I hit
Yeah,
that.
you hit that
That
guy.
one too.
Yeah.
So they need to make a DC 15 con save.
Okay, doke. So let's start with this guy. We'll go counterclockwise. That guy makes it. This dude. That guy fails. This dude. That guy makes it. So this guy fails.
Well, good news. It only does. Well, that one guy's dead. It does 5 damage.
Does it do anything else?
Huh? Well, it would have knocked him back, but he's dead. So
Correct. He is overcome by a
unless he
giant
wants to
wave
take 1
of-
damage from being thrown into his orc buddy.
No.
So the
That's a
save,
cool idea.
The save doesn't do half. Or is it
Not
just-
to minions, he said.
Oh.
So
Okay.
Oh, you should be able to just see the poll as an overlay in Twitch. In fact, if you're on mobile, you should be able to click. There should be in chat at the top. There should be a little like puzzle piece you can click on, and it'll show you the poll. And it doesn't actually say, "Hey, okay, you voted." It just gives you options, and you click on one, and it underlines that one, and then you have voted. And if you just wait, then it'll go bloop and go away.
Cool.
Hitting exclamation point poll, I don't think does anything. That was King. Are you done?
Mhm.
Okay, let's see. There are 1,
Orcs
2, 3, 4. So this orc will charge Big Cat and attack.
He's brave.
AC 18. That's on you, Tom.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm
should be near the top.
at disadvantage for the first attack.
Disadvantage for the
For
first attack.
displacement.
But you were not displaced. It's you.
He's not
It's
on.
you.
I'm not on him.
He's not his.
Oh, you're not.
cat.
Oh, that, you're
Sorry,
that
sorry,
guy.
it's a little
okay,
confusing
fair
right
enough.
now.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
This will be solved next time.
Okay, so hello. So what? So he attacks Big Cat and misses because Big Cat is displaced. How does displacement work?
A disadvantage on the
Oh, he
first
just
hit.
has disadvantage.
Just a
Got it.
disadvantage.
You said that. He hits. He does
Okay.
9, 10, 11, 12 points of damage to a giant displacer beast that has a whole ton of hit points.
That minion did that much damage.
They're completely normal orcs in every way,
Oh, I see.
except they have 1 hit point.
Ew.
Let's see.
Ew.
This guy will go here and attack Phil. AC 15, Phil.
Yep.
13 points of damage.
Okay.
This guy will attack King. I'm sure that's going to miss. AC 12.
Miss.
This dude is going to go here. Hell, he. And he has advantage. 11 plus 5 is AC 16, Phil.
Yeah.
You take 15 points of damage. And then how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. This guy shows up. He comes up from a board, and now that he can see, he uses the rest of his movement and then charges nails. Nails. Ooh, 8. 8 plus 5 is 13.
It is.
Does that hit you?
No, does not.
Because you have your mage armor up, I assume.
Uh-huh.
And there's this dude.
Every morning with my coffee.
Mm.
Mage armor.
He can't. I don't think he can get any further than this. He has disadvantage, correct?
Yeah. AC 13.
He misses. That's annoying. His orcs are like, what? What am I? What? Where is he? And there's one more. Hello. This appears to be the end of the orcs. There don't seem to be any more coming from below. Wow!
Oh,
3 plus 4 is even added up. The
Sorry.
2 20-sided I roll were not enough to
if you want to roll back, it's actually
It's only the first attack.
first time,
it's only
yeah.
the first attack.
Yep. if you want to roll back to it.
I don't think either of them would
It was
hit. I don't
8.
remember.
Well, that last one, they wouldn't have.
Yeah.
No, the last one was an attack on you with advantage.
Oh,
And yeah, it was this guy attacking you, and he rolled a 3 and a 4. So 5, 6, 7, 8, another 7 or 8 rounds, he will hit you. That was the orc. And then, of course,
And then, of course,
their buddy shows up.
Mm.
what's that?
they have a cave troll.
He's a giant ogre-looking motherfucker.
Great, cool.
Great, cool, great, awesome, cool. Thanks.
Ogre looking motherfucker.
Does he have reach? I think he does. No, he doesn't.
That'd be pretty
Really?
far reach.
No.
Anyway, that'd be
It's got a big club.
3,
He does have a big club.
15.
Let's see. You guys are all far away, so he's just going to walk up to. And the commander says, "Club, go easy on him."
His name is Club.
Orcs. Orcish creativity there.
Nope. I can't roll above a 4 tonight. That you guys.
It's not
are
over on
having-
this
you
side
guys
of the
are
screen,
having a
you
Good time. So who's this? Judge?
Yes.
Judge is your action.
All right. So I see this big ogre guy come out, and I'm like, uh-oh. So Judge is gonna scoot up. Let's see. Just a little bit. Just enough to get in range to cast Burning Halo on Club.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So he does a little, and then Club needs to make a Charisma saving throw.
What's the DC?
16.
16. So he needs to roll like an 18, and he failed.
He failed.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Because I have a question about this now that
Okay.
it's working.
Yes.
So
This
it
is an
says-
Illrigger spell, which bears a striking resemblance to Crown of Madness, but it's not identical.
So I'm gonna read it out real quick.
Uh-huh.
It says you gift an enemy with a fiery halo that infects their mind with infernal thoughts, causing them to see allies as enemies. Choose a creature you can see within range. Done. They must succeed on Charisma saving throw or be charmed by you for the duration. While under your sway, a halo of fire floats above the target's head. The charmed target must use their action before moving on each of its turns to make a weapon attack against a creature other than itself that you mentally select.
Uh-huh.
The target can act normally on their turn if you choose no creature or if none are within the range of their weapons. So that's the one I have a question about. Like, if I don't choose a target for him,
Yeah.
does he go back to attacking enemies.
When's the last thing he said? He can choose no target.
The target can act normally
Can act
on
normal,
their
yeah.
turn.
Yeah. So if there's no one for him to attack, because it doesn't cause him to move, right? So if none of his allies are within range, then he can just go. So I think what it's saying is if you don't choose somebody, he can do what he wants. Even if you do choose somebody, if that person is not in range of his club,
Mm-hmm.
then he can just do what he wants. So let's imagine you pick this dude as his target. If
Uh-huh.
this guy acts before him, and if this guy moves 10 feet,
Mm-hmm.
he can do whatever he wants.
It says the term target must use their action before moving on each of its turns. So
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like he's rooted there. It just sounds
No.
like he needs to move first.
So yeah, on his turn, he's going to use his action to attack an ally who's within range,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if the ally you have chosen for him is not in range, I think is what the last thing it says, is he can do what he wants.
Mm.
Read the last sentence again.
The target can act normally on their turn if you choose no creature or if none within range of the weapons. Okay.
Right. So if you choose Bill the Orc, and Bill the Orc moves out of range,
Uh-huh.
then he's like, oh, now
Okay.
he's not now he can do what he wants because he cannot follow your command.
Okay.
If he can't follow your command, he does what he wants. And the thing he was not going to do is he's not going to move to get into range.
Got it. And then does that mean that on this turn I can have him attack somebody else? Or do I need to wait to the next
So
turn?
you cast the spell and you pick an enemy,
Mhm.
an ally of
Mhm. Oh, because that's my
of
action.
club. Yeah, you cast the spell and you pick one of this ogre's
Subsequent
allies, and then you just wait and see what happens.
Okay, yeah, because on your subsequent turns, you must use your action to maintain control.
Oh
Those
wow,
ones.
yeah. So it's like super concentration. Not only can you not cast another spell, you've got to
Like Kylo running this guy.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. So.
So yeah, there's a literally like a crown of fire that appears. A halo of fire appears over. I can see where one of us, probably me, is causing the camera is doing something to cause the camera to shake back and forth. So people watching the tactical stream, we have a tactical stream, by the way, so that those of you who are on a PC, probably is the best way to do it, can follow along in our second stream, MCDM2, and see what's happening. And actually, we have color coded the mini bases to match their colors on the overlay. I don't know how obvious that's going to be. Yeah, so there's now a burning halo above this thing's head, and its eyes kind of go. And who do you choose? Who's its target?
I'm gonna have him hit the minion in front of him.
And he looks down at the orc in front of him. And goes, and we'll find out what happens on his turn.
Okay, and then I'm gonna use my bonus action to actually let me see if I'm within range real quick.
5, 10, 15, 20.
30. The big guy is within 30 feet too.
I think they both are, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna use my bonus action to do what's it called? The thing where I put a seal on him.
Baleful interdict.
Interdict.
Yeah. Yes.
I've been practicing.
You got it right. You got it right. You did way better. That was only like your second try, as opposed to Jason Hasenauer, who still can't say Eldritch.
Oh my god.
Cannot
Yes.
pronounce the word Eldritch.
So
How
bad.
does he say it?
He says Eldritch.
Yeah, Eldritch.
Eldritch.
Yeah. Water.
Water.
Water. He's not here, so we can make fun.
That's how it
I
works,
say
right?
That's
water all
forceable.
the time.
So,
Oh, sorry.
Baleful
Actually, I
Inter-
might not be able to do this because it
Maybe
says I
not.
have to burn a spell slot to
Correct,
do it.
yeah.
So I can't do two things that burn spell slots in the
no,
same.
I don't think that's true. You just can't cast 2 spells.
And it's not a spell.
Correct. Baleful Interdict is a class ability. It's not a spell. So you can just mark off a spell.
Okie dokie. Cool.
Baleful Interdict is like a combination of Divine Smite and the way Assassins in 4th edition work. Which is apparently super obscure. Judge, are you done?
Yes.
Okey-doke.
I am.
Oh boy.
Speaking of the devil, I believe that is Jason Hasenauer just came.
Oh,
just showed.
I thought something was cool was going to happen for
Yeah.
Judge.
So let's see. What is. I need to use my pen book because I do not have spell cards. One of these days I'll figure out how to get organized for this.
What do you need to know?
I need to know how a certain spell works, and I'm not going to tell you which one.
Hmm.
I might have its fire. Are you sure you don't want to tell us right now?
I am sure. Uh-huh. Nice.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And who, yeah, don't want that, yeah. So, unfortunately, looks like 30-foot cube, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 30 feet. I told you. I think I described a 15-foot cube to you.
Mhm.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but yeah,
Oh no, you can't hit everybody.
I can't hit all of you.
Who's that fucker?
It's
Oh, he
it's
gets
a one-armed orc,
Like a Shannon dude.
yeah. one-handed.
Where'd he come from?
Yeah, from the below, from the deck below. Same
You helped
place.
them load all these guys.
What's that?
They were in all those barrels that
They
you
were in the box. No, that would be funny if they cracked open and all these orcs spring out. Oh, hi. That was a rough trip.
What?
Huh?
Move the
Oh.
camera next to you. No, the camera next to you.
There's no camera next to him.
Yeah, what are you?
what's-
Next to Anna?
Just Anna, sorry.
Can I unplug it?
We're moving some
I
cameras
think I,
around.
I
so
think I
people
heard
can-
him say yes. So
Yeah.
let's see what happens.
Yes.
Okay. I just unplugged it anyway.
So
I
yeah,
was like, whatever.
the fact that all the cameras are working means we can use them. Like if you want to grab one of those cameras,
Oh,
it's up to you, Tom. There's no obligation.
Yeah, you
to
gotta
do so.
move the little octopus legs.
great.
Close your eyes, everybody.
Let's see. What are we doing? We are trying to figure out. Well, you know what? How about?
sure, let's move it.
I know how this spell works. Phil, do me a favor.
Yes.
Make a wisdom save.
Okay.
You would.
6.
All right. Sweet in the middle of boxing with this guy. So it freezes it. Oil can. And you are
Held.
held. And the way it works is you get to make a saving throw at the end of each of your rounds.
Okay.
At the end of each of Sweet's turns, Sweet can make another wisdom saving throw on a success. Sweet is free, liberated from this imprisonment. And that's the Orc Shaman is done. Nails.
I'm going to expend.
Who knows what else lurks below in the hold?
I'm going to expend 2 sorcery points
Apples?
in order to cast a firebolt as a quickened spell against
Dope.
this nerd,
Okay, which one?
Mer-
Okay, yeah.
Rupture.
Firebolt is a cantrip. So.
That is 24 to hit.
Oh yeah, you definitely hit. Oh, he's dead. Ah! This guy is incinerated and turned into a pile of ash, now of interest only to historians.
Sweet.
And that was a quickened metamagic spell. It was only a cantrip though,
It was only a cantrip
so you can still cast the spell.
or another cantrip.
Or another
I'll
cantrip.
look this up. I get over here.
Oh, that's a nice. It's a nice line.
Oh,
I'm gonna look at this guy.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say, "Hey,
Oh.
cool ropes." Just kidding. And then I hit him with the poison spray, which is a con save.
okie doke. What's the DC?
15 to beat.
He did not make it.
Ooh, bummer.
He rolled a 2.
So,
Do some damage.
I
Break his
roll-
concentration.
Do something cool.
Oh yeah.
Holds concentration, right?
Is this
A
a
moment sooner this. Yep, concentration.
12s? So that is 9 plus 4. 12. That is 13 poison damage.
13 poison damage, and the DC for concentration is 10 or half the damage, whichever's higher. Which means he has to beat a 10. Which he did. He is still concentrating.
I forget. It's a cone, right? Poison spray.
It is
15?
just a 10-foot
10 foot?
ranged.
Okay.
That was Nails. It's
One of
Sweet. You are held. You are free to make a wisdom save. Whiz for wizards.
20.
You are you are unheld. That's the end of your turn, unfortunately. Copper and Big Cat.
Does this block my view at all?
Nope.
Okay.
There's a giant mast, but it's only like that wide.
All right.
So inside of-
Okay, I'm gonna attack that dude right there.
Okay.
With one of my arrows.
Okay.
You should have him start smashing.
You get 2 shots per round, correct?
Yeah. 20.
Look at that.
I can
Uh,
pass it.
Blah, that guy's
It's a
dead.
concentration spell, isn't it?
And
Yeah, I can
then
pass it.
Minions are a great way to challenge a party with a whole bunch of folks. Oh wait. Sorry. You were trying to tell them not to talk while other people are talking. While I was trying to talk while even more people were talking.
No,
Oh, you're
that's
trying,
not true.
You're trying to talk
We're trying
quietly.
to
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We're strategizing.
We're trying to do better about crosstalk.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tom.
okay, and then I'm gonna shoot that guy.
Yeah, by all means.
14 plus 10, 24.
Blah!
And then
The orc is hit by an arrow and collapses to the ground.
I will attack this guy with Big Cat as my one attack for one action.
I've got Harbinger T says I've got the MCDM channel on the big screen, the chat on mobile, and MCDM2 on the laptop. So they've got
Nice.
chat, the game, and yeah.
Cool command.
I am loving the interactive nature of the stream.
8. I miss.
8 misses.
Yep.
Are you done?
I am done.
So but Big Cat can still attack, right? They can act or move.
I did his action.
Oh, that was his action.
That was
Got
it.
it. Thank
Yeah,
you, Tom. Ground Commander Vodakov.
I got rid of 2 minions.
Ground Commander Vodakov sees his minions dying. He says, "Weak fools! Does the offer still stand?" And then he attacks you.
To join us.
I kind of like this guy now. He's scoring points with sass.
9. Actually, your armor class is not the best in the world. 9 plus 6 is 15.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a D12 plus a D8.
Because I can only give you a
forgot.
D8 plus 4 right
I
now.
forgot
Really.
something.
I might be going down.
10 plus 2 plus 4 is 16 points of damage.
Okay.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Ha! I am now the commander. I order you to surrender.
It's a vote of no confidence.
You're not the big boss.
That was Vortikov. That was his attack. Is he going to move? Phil goes down. Phil, do you mind if I put your mini on the?
Go for it.
He does.
Uh,
Oh no.
sorry.
Stupid shaman.
And Vortikov will move. Hello, he. And now it's King. King, the chronicler of the chain.
Right, so I'm going to cast Spirit Guardians.
Yeah.
So that's going to be my turn. And then now whoever starts within a 15-foot radius of me needs to make a wisdom. What is it, wisdom?
Oh, Spirit Guardians. I know.
Wisdom save. Yeah.
Yeah.
DC 15 wisdom save, or they're going to take 3d8 damage.
Okay, well, these two guys are both starting their turn. Are you going to do anything else?
No, can't do anything.
A wisdom save, that makes it. 18 makes it, and an 8 fails. 18, 8. This guy's gone.
Yeah.
What about
And then-
Commander?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that guy.
Well, it's when they start.
Yeah, it's not his
Oh,
turn. It's
right,
not his
yeah,
turn. It's not his turn.
Yeah, sorry.
I didn't forget.
Oh wait, actually, well, never
When
mind.
they begin their turn.
Yeah, or they enter it.
Correct, but
Yeah.
he entered it before you cast it. So let's see. This dude is going to go Haley. And he is going to get advantage on you. Which armor class?
20.
That's right. You have the best armor class. He hits. 10. You take 14 points of damage.
He is also dead.
From what happens?
I'm gonna zap him.
What happens exactly?
So when a creature within 5 feet attacks me, I can use my reaction to cause a dexterity saving throw. So beat a 15 dexterity saving throw.
No.
And die.
He hits you though, right?
He hits me, so I'm gonna
So
take the damage.
he
So
uses his great axe and cleaves into King and looks at Ground Commander Vortikov, who's riding outside the King. He's like, ah, like, witness me, and then this lightning erupts from King, and the orc drops to a cindered, crisping hulk. Are there any other?
so
these
it
two
was
guys.
14 damage, right?
Matt? Yeah.
All right.
Alright, this guy was here. And now they both have advantage on Big Cat, although they don't know what I know, which is a Big Cat has a shitload of hit points. Oh, but
Disadvantage.
disadvantage because this is the
The first attack.
first attack, so that's just a regular die roll.
Okay.
18 hits. You take 12. Big Cat takes 12 plus 4 points of damage, 16 points of damage. 12 plus 3, I'm sorry. 15 points.
15.
And then the other guy goes. And this is not the first attack. Is it the first attack each person? I guess they're going on the same.
Just once, and
18 plus is enough. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 more to Big Cat.
And they're beating up on your cat, dude.
Big cat, no.
They're like tag teaming him. Like Big Cat's not able to.
did you roll 2 dice or 4 total?
Huh? Yes. Correct. You were tracking ferocity.
Yeah.
Yes. No. It's only 2 dice. They
Oh.
each did 1. It's Ground
Oh,
Commander
sorry.
Vortikov does 2 dice, but these guys only do 1. I was only 2 seconds. Is what you're saying.
Got it. Yeah.
So that is the orcs, and now the ogre goes. Little zappy man over here. He will definitely walk up to you and whap you. You are a likely looking fellow. And unfortunately, he does not have advantage. So he is not likely to hit it.
He entered Spirit Guardians as well.
Correct. So something happens to him, right?
Yep.
12, that's not going to hit.
Take some damage.
12 plus 6 is 18. It's close. So does he have to make a saving throw, or is it just automatic?
Yeah, it's a Wisdom saving throw. He has to beat a 15 or take 3d8.
He does not.
Okay, that's an 8. That's
I'm
an
start
8.
rolling behind the screen because getting up
Mm.
every time is starting to
Where'd my other d8 go?
piss me off.
Just going to sit here.
14 damage.
Oh,
14 damage.
Jesus.
That's the first time that guy.
Ready to
has
lose
been-
$5?
What?
Nothing.
What? Nothing happened. I'm fine.
That was-
We're all fine down here. That was the ogre. It's now judge.
All right. So, well, the ogre needs to make a charisma saving.
Oh, I don't think he's going to make that. He does.
Oh,
Wow. A 20.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right.
Yeah. Well, it's because of the proximity to the ground commander.
Mm.
I guess that
Ground commander makes him
made that
feel
easy
more,
for me.
made him feel more bold. What was the thing you were doing to him?
The halo.
Oh,
The
that's right.
burning
You were trying to
halo.
command him with the halo. Because the dude that he was supposed to attack died.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. So, sorry, that kind of messed things up a little bit.
I forgot he
was
had the
gonna
halo
make
on
that. Well, he couldn't.
Yeah.
Everything was right
Yeah.
because there was nobody around him anyway.
Yeah, I knew that.
I know you did.
I'm smart, not like people say. Not like dumb.
All
Smart,
right.
no respect.
In that case, I'm going to. One second. Let me see how this works. The
New class. Who
can I
dis?
get Philip?
Yeah.
Philip.
Can you get Phil up?
Philip with what?
I need to touch him to be optimal, and you can get to him.
Can you get Philip? Philip with what?
Can you get Philip?
Yeah,
Robb?
but I'm gonna get
Philip.
I'm gonna invoke an attack of opportunity if I do that.
Oh, how horrible!
They're minions.
But your armor class is 16. It's pretty good.
They're gonna miss.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hang
Go
on.
get him up
Yeah.
so we can
Hang on.
mock him for
Hang on.
falling over so easy. Like you were a boxer.
thought you were-
Judge, it's your character. Do what you want.
Mhm.
Don't
He
do
fought
this.
dirty.
I'm not
Follow
saying
your
do it.
heart.
I'm
The
saying can.
shaman. Wasn't expecting
Very
to
good.
get held
Can, but I'm like-
during my turn.
I'm just trying to think of what to do because Phil going down and the guy breaking out of it kind of ruins shit for me.
I love when a plan falls apart.
gotta see what
Remember
what
when we
this
did
guy's
the,
capable
the
of.
combat
I'm trying
room?
to- I'm trying to figure this out. Because I'm trying to figure out for the invoke authority if that's an action or if it's like a bonus or if I just say I'm doing it.
I think it depends on the thing that you're getting out of Invoke Authority.
Yeah, I thought I had it written down, but it's
Invoke Authority is like the Ilriger's version of Channel Divinity. Instead of channeling divinity, they're invoking the authority of Asmodeus in Judge's case.
like invoke authority on here is not telling me if it's an action.
Because Invoke Authority is a category of thing, and you as a
I like choose it for the day or
you,
something.
no, you as
So which one are you trying to do?
Can you tell me what if it's an action or
So
bonus
choose a
or
target.
whatever?
It's going to be an action for the
No.
compel the credulous.
Oh, is that it?
Is that what you're trying to do? The other one is, I believe, also going to be an action until the end of your next turn. We don't explicitly say as an action,
Then it's probably as an action. Yeah.
but I can fix that since I'm
Since you're the head of QA,
no,
Considered it
since
QA.
I'm the head of layout artist at MC.
that's true. You're also yes, that's true. Yes,
Okay.
Lars, I need you to QA this stuff and then fix it in layout.
Lay it out and then fix it in layout.
All right, yeah. Okay, so I'm
Zero
gonna
Larkspur says, "Can you get him up?" Asks the cleric.
yeah.
Is there anybody else
Look who's
here?
not doing their job.
Is there anybody else here who can attend to our wounded commander?
Got him.
So if
I'm
I
gonna
pull an
invoke
O'Driscoll,
attack of opportunity from that little guy. So if you
Yeah.
want to roll for that,
I would love to roll actually,
You would.
but a 6 is not going to hit you.
Yes. All right.
Very sneaky.
I want to get that close.
The
So
fill is actually where the red thing
The
is,
red.
I think.
I think
Or
you
you
were.
he
No,
was.
he was
He,
in
he
front.
was right there,
He
but
was
kind
right
of
there.
when you knocked him down.
Okay.
So
Now he's right there.
Okay.
he's been pushed to the side.
He should technically his corpse should be difficult terrain for this guy.
Now I'm gonna.
So she is right in the corner of Club the ogre.
Club the ogre.
Wow, my spellcasting ability modifier is +8.
That's a no.
Your charisma's 20, bro.
Yeah,
My
charisma is
Plus
20 plus
proficiency.
5. Well, 5 plus 5 plus your. It's just like a wizard with a 20 hit. 5 plus your proficiency modifier.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and use Cure Wounds.
On you, and that's a 1d8 plus my spell ability modifier. What's a d8 even look like?
Diamond, bro.
8.
Dude, you get
Nice.
16 HP back.
Nice.
That was worth it.
Well done.
Go.
You're awake. You're awake and alive.
Rejuvenated.
Judge, are you done?
I'm gonna use a bonus action to put. I already put a seal on the big guy, didn't I? Or did I put it on the?
I don't think you put it. Did you put a seal on anybody?
I put a seal on somebody. I think it was the main orc
I thought you
dude.
put it on the commander. Their
Yeah,
commander.
I'm gonna put it on club now.
Okay.
So
Does that mean there's a seal on both of them?
Yes.
Okay. We need a way to mark your seals. I was planning on using the magnets.
Well,
We've got tons of them.
How much of
The gray magnets should work. We'll grab them after this. So they each have one seal on them. Just remember that, because I'll forget.
Yeah.
And is that it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, how much did I move? I moved 5, 10, 15, 20.
He
Wait,
gets,
like-
wait, you
wake
realize
up.
you realize that means that Club the Ogre gets a free attack on you.
What?
Oh.
Oh, you're
I
right.
just
Jason.
doubted
I
his.
knew you did that on purpose.
Freaking
Freaking wink.
Wonderful.
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
that was Judge. Now the orc shaman goes.
Make a whiz save, bro.
Oh, I'd rather not.
Well, you have to.
But their whiz is not bad. His whiz is not bad.
Whiz.
But rolling a 3 doesn't really matter what your bonus is.
14.
14 damage?
Yep.
Got it. He is going to, so as going to do the thing he was going to do before we didn't have, you guys were not grouped up enough, but now you are, yay! The orc shaman weaves a twisting pattern of colors through the air and a 6x6 cube, and they can put anywhere, so it's going to get all these guys. And I think it affects everybody. Yeah, each creature.
Friends and allies.
I need
allies and enemies.
Big Cat and Judge and King and Sweet to all make wisdom saves.
Wisdom.
Yep.
I failed.
24.
19.
10.
So Sweet and Judge
Mine was a 3.
are charmed. While charmed, you both are incapacitated at a speed of 0. As you see this, you're just hypnotized by this pulsing pattern of lights that spin and twist and have magically compelled you to pay attention to them. And that's that guy's. That's that guy's action. It's Nails.
Oh, I want to scorch this turd.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
scorch
what you
that
did.
turd.
I bet you did. You turd scorcher.
I'm stand here right behind him and just.
Do something big.
Ooh,
Plus-
that is only a 13 to hit.
Oh, 13 to hit. You missed. This guy's got ring mail and his shield. Are you done? You burn a magic point and quicken another cantrip. I don't know if you have enough points for that.
I do. I'm gonna do it.
I'm not trying to suggest a course of action. I'm just making sure he knows what his options are.
Upon seeing that my first fireball was a little dud, let's try that again.
Okay.
Fireball. Bam.
Fire. This is fire bolt, I assume.
Firebolt. Sorry. That's 24.
That's 24
Here it
hits.
is.
24 hits.
Nice.
10.
Do lots of damage.
This could break his concentration because this hypnotic pattern is also concentration.
And That is Ocho.
8. So that's got it. Yeah, the orc Eye of Grumsh is running out of juice. He's badly wounded, scorched. Parts of him are on fire. And it's just otherwise exhausted from trying to dodge you guys in the spellcasting. Sweet, you are hypnotized.
Did he break his concentration?
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
He did break his concentration.
Yes.
oh yeah, you're up.
It's hard to keep you down. Man.
So,
Oh, wait, we should pick
Person,
you up.
hypnotic power.
so I have to use my movement to stand up.
It's
right?
half your movement.
Oh, okay.
I believe it's half. your movement.
Move me next to what's his name? The captain.
Well,
Yeah.
Commander Vortikov.
I'm Ground Commander
We got
Vortikov.
advantage too.
Yeah, give me some advantage. All right. All right, I'm gonna swinging haymakers is this motherfucker.
But you it hit. This is not. This is just a regular haymaker. This is not the one we have to have. It gives you disadvantage.
Well, I have advantage.
Right.
All anytime I want to do haymakers, I
It
have
imposes disadvantage.
Yeah.
Right. So, but that means that now you just roll 1d20 because you have
That's what I
advantage.
did.
Oh, okay.
It's
Oh, that's
I
your.
get 2 punches.
Is that your? Oh, I get it.
Hmm.
I get it.
So I got a 19
19 hits.
and 17.
17 hits.
Sweet.
16.
Boom, boom.
16. So
Big man like you, not afraid of a little boom boom.
26 damage.
26 damage.
Yeah.
Well, he hasn't actually taken that much damage. If this were 4th edition, he would not yet be bloody. But it's not 4th edition, so he is? No.
All right. For my bonus action, I am going to use a. I don't need to use a grit point for that. I'm going to dig deep. So, as a bonus action, you gain resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage for 1 minute.
That's all these damages.
Sounds good.
Except the shaman. All this
At the end of that minute, you gain a level of exhaustion.
Oh. Oh, yeah. I get it. You pay for you pay for it later. But
Yeah.
That's cool. I wish more things used exhaustion as a mechanic.
Yeah,
I
it's
like it.
good.
I think it's neat. That was sweet. It's Copper and Big Cat.
I'm
This is
gonna,
a perfect scenario for you, by the way. It's like, I'm just going to stay here and go blink.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I haven't
while the
moved
cat
like
goes,
that.
yeah.
I'm gonna use up some ferocity and use
Ooh.
multi attack.
Nice.
Sweet.
So I assume I could attack and
Yep.
2
absolutely.
attacks. So
Yep,
yeah, okay.
100%.
So I'll attack this guy first.
Okay, doke.
Oh, wait, not that one. This one.
You guys have attacked enough of these guys. You know their armor class is 13.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 exact. And I do 11 damage.
This guy's dead.
And then I'll use the next multi attack on that guy. Or the next attack. 19. I hit.
This
yeah.
guy's dead.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is that Big Cat?
Yeah.
Yeah, this big cat with
10
his, with his
and then
2 squid tentacles just smacking these guys around, and each tentacle has all these barbs on it. So whenever they hit them, they go rip and they rend the flesh and armor off these
You just-
things.
Yeah.
swaps the guy in the front without looking back. He gets like this. Gets in the back. Okay. Oh, I still get my
That's
attack
cool.
now.
Yeah, and you correct.
I will.
Wait,
attack-
is using
Oh, sorry. Did I use it up?
is using ferocity in action? I
You
think
are
it is.
right.
I think
You're
it
right.
is.
You're correct.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure of that.
Fairly certain.
So that was Copper and Big Cat. Well, I mean, look at it this way. You just took out 2 of those guys. And now it's Ground Commander Vortikov.
Make a whiz save.
I guess I don't. What happens to him? He takes more damage?
Yeah.
You are annoying. You are
13
upsetting me.
damage.
Uh,
Well, if you hit me.
now he would be bloodied. Uh-huh.
Oh shoot.
Yep. D8 and a D12. Doesn't have advantage. 14 plus 6 is 20.
That hits me.
So you take 5 plus 7 plus 4 is 16 points of damage?
Me?
No, him.
Yeah.
5 plus 7 plus 4. 5 plus 7 plus 4.
Go ahead and make a dex save.
No.
Wow, that's a natural.
He does not save Dex.
5 damage.
5 more damage, and don't you have to make a concentration check?
Yes. So hold on. So you did 16 points of damage to me, right?
Correct, which is still
Sorry, this is a lot of fucking numbers.
10. Your DC is still 10. Because it's half the damage or 10, whichever's higher.
I do not make it. It's
Concentration
just a
ends.
straight. It's just a straight
It's a con.
dice roll.
It's con.
Con.
I think so.
Okay, I still don't make it.
It's con for now until we have to look it up.
It's fun.
So that was a very interesting round. A whole bunch of crap just happened. That was Ground Commander Vodakov, and now it's King. Now it's your turn. He just whacked you. Where's your commander now? Oh shit! He's behind me.
I
Isn't
just
he?
fucking clocked you
Behind me.
twice.
Behind me.
Oh.
Did you feel those two
Could've
big
been
punches in your kidneys,
Could've-
bitch?
Okay, so I believe this is 30 foot. You haven't been hit yet, right? You haven't been hit. Tell me
I haven't been hit.
You have been hit.
I have.
I'm gonna go ahead and use Prayer of Healing on Phil and I, and nobody else in 30 feet has been hit. Or you got hit once, right?
Yeah,
I'm
Big
hurt
Cat's
low.
taking
I'm
some
low
damage.
hurt. I got 30.
Okay, Big Cat gets healed too. So how about that?
Nice.
For how much?
So it's gonna be 2d8, I believe, plus 4. Yeah.
Sweet.
So that's not great. 9.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Little bit counts.
That's
Go
true.
ahead and turn myself.
Is that what you're doing this turn? Is that a bonus action or you done?
No, I believe that was my action.
Okay, no.
Learning the spells. Sorry. So
We're all learning. That is the orcs are all dead. So that's this supposed to have gone. And now the ogre would like to punch somebody. And I think he's probably going to punch. Actually, Judge, did you do a ton of damage to him?
I didn't do any damage to
You didn't
him.
do anything to him. And he made his save against your mind control.
Oh,
Against your incredibly cheesy mind control.
I'm the one who designed it.
That's true. Sorry, no, it's good. Ooh, I don't think that's gonna hit. 7, AC 13. Listen.
He tried to attack me.
Yes, he did. Does something cool happen?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, and that's it. He's done. It's Judge. Wait. Prayer. You cast Prayer of Healing.
Mhm.
What's the casting time on that?
oh fuck. Well, today I learned.
It's the power of chat. Haha!
Yeah.
Okay, well, subtract that. Health.
I know everything everyone in chat knows.
Chat, you're supposed to be
that's
on
not
our
legally
side.
True. Yes.
Yes,
Yes. Chat, you're hired.
Uh,
Prayer of Healing. Lord Duroc put this in chat. It could be one of the mods who knew this, but Prayer of Healing has a 10-minute casting time.
it
Got it.
is a ritual.
Ah.
Okay, so then do I get my turn back?
Just checking
No.
yourself
You're
out.
gonna, yeah. Let's. So the ogre is gonna do what the ogre did, which is miss.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And there are no more orcs alive, so you are free to undo what you did, and we'll play it right instead of playing it.
All right, well, go ahead and make a dex save with your boy.
Okay, I'm gonna roll behind the screen because I'm getting tired of. I rolled a 3.
Put my hand to his chest, and I blast him for 3 damage.
For how much?
3 damage.
3 to the which guy? The
like a
the war chief.
More of a
The war
tickle. Yeah, more of a tickle than a.
Three,
little bit of a tickle.
3 damage. What was
3
that?
damage.
What did you roll?
I did Sacred Flame, and I rolled
Okay.
2d8, and I rolled a 2 and a 1. So
That's
Stop
it. Hey, 2 and a 1. 2 plus 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. You heard it here first. That was King, and then the ogre goes and misses.
Learn your math, son.
With-
I am a loyal minion of Ajax. I serve the rules, and the rules serve Ajax. I like the way that guy thinks. So that was, and then the ogre went. Now it's Judge.
So I'm going to use my bonus action to cast the Quellic Interdict.
You like that spell?
It is a pretty awesome spell.
Did you know that? So I clarified that since the last time we did this.
What do you mean you clarified it?
I mean, I clarified. It doesn't say like in the current version. I made a note to Lars to update the PDF. I don't know if he did, but you have to burn your spell slots to do it
Well, why would you tell me that now?
because you're using it now. You don't want
Then I'm
to.
not
You don't
gonna
wait
use-
till
then I'm not
after.
gonna use it.
You don't wait. Well, it's a good thing I told you.
That was enough focus.
You can still do it.
But I don't have that many spell
Oh, boy.
slots.
Well,
Well, like, you have to use the spell slot just to cast this.
correct.
But the thing is, like, to use the
Oh, there
rest
it
of,
goes.
like, all my
Nice.
charisma, it's,
Good thing to know.
like, 3 more spell slots, which I don't have.
How many spell slots do you have total? Like if you hadn't cast any spells today.
I have 4 first level and 3 second level.
Right, so it's 7 slots that of which if you save some, you'll be able to use Quellic Interdict. But But if you burn through all your spell slots, then yeah.
Well, that's pointless.
It's like a Paladin's Divine Smite. They burn a spell slot. So if they wait until they've used all their spells before they use their Divine Smite, they're going to be unhappy.
Okay.
But it may mean that the spell needs to be tweaked. It's entirely possible. This is like literally the first time we've played this. Second time.
Sorry, I erased that. Okay, in that case, I'm just gonna take a whack at Club with my greatsword.
Club!
Me, club.
He is what he.
Ooh, I don't think that's gonna hit. 15?
AC 15 against the ogre is, as it turns out, well more than enough.
Oh, cool.
He is very large and has an AC of 11.
Holy cow.
Okay, so then I do 8. I rolled 8, and then I get a +5, so I do 13 damage on my first attack.
Got it?
And then I'm gonna go
Ah!
ahead and roll a second attack.
That was not me. That
Oh,
was- hopefully you guys know. You guys
that
can tell.
definitely doesn't hit. 11 doesn't hit, right?
That is
A
it.
total of 11?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
His armor class is 11.
It is?
Yeah.
He's just mostly naked, big, giant thing.
Wow.
Hard to miss.
So then I do an additional 13 damage. And I'm also going to consume the seal that I have on him to do an additional 2d6. 6 plus 1 is 7 damage. So 7 more damage on top of that. So I do 33
Okay.
total.
That's pretty good. He's still alive, but he's unhappy.
33 damage.
Ah!
Nice.
Ah! Club smash!
That's nice.
And then
He's going to have to wait to smash. Because he doesn't go until right here.
I'm trying to decide if I want to back up or not.
Ah, back up.
Didn't take
Definitely,
any damage.
definitely a good idea to back up.
Club, club.
Nah, I'm going to stick up close so I can keep whacking at him.
Club, club.
Just everything.
Club,
says
club.
club, club.
You could have moved around and got.
Oh, that's
advantage.
true.
Sorry.
Alright.
Oh yeah.
No, they
Sorry, meta.
No,
That's not
that's not
meta.
meta.
It's just playing the game.
1, 2, 3, 4. All right.
Yeah.
Home again, jiggity jig.
I'm just trying to get Lars out of that.
Rude.
Just like a really nice light from the up.
Yeah, it was a-
Tractor shot.
Oh no, this is not a spell that I want to use on you guys. You annoy him.
Uh-oh.
At last.
You've been like peppering him in the back this whole time.
So go ahead.
At last you notice me. And me. And me.
He is going to cast.
All four of you smoke.
He's going to cast Hold Person on all of you. I don't know how does your spell affect spells, or is it only attack rolls? I think it's only attack rolls.
I think it's only attack rolls. Yeah,
So you
it's,
gotta
'cause
make a
they
wisdom save.
each have an AC. So hold person.
You got to make a wisdom save.
Since we're all sort of, I get the impression that it's sort of like a, ooh, that's an 8.
Oil can. You are frozen. You get to. He has to concentrate on it, so damage will break the. There's a chance of breaking the concentration, but on your turn, otherwise you do nothing, and at the end of your turn, you can make another saving throw and try to get out of it.
And it's your turn.
And it is your turn, correct?
Oh, so you can make a save.
That's all I could do, right?
Correct.
Essentially.
Let's you burn your turn.
That's a 9.
You get it's better than an 8.
I'm getting there, everybody.
It's one round at a time.
We'll keep chipping away.
Sweet.
Let's see here.
So did you undo the healing that you did from Prayer of Healing?
I did on me. I don't know if they did.
I did.
I don't know who else got healing.
Phil would have, but I believe. Did you undo your healing?
Unfortunately.
Well,
All right.
I know what I'm doing.
This is a good
if we
fight. I
survive this
intended this
combat.
fight to be tough, and it's
Oh
reasonably
yeah.
tough.
Mhm. Someone went down and people were getting hurt.
Shooting through those minions is pretty cool.
Dazzle Me Bro says, I need fan art of Nails being like, you finally noticed me. And me.
And
And me.
That's funny.
All right. Hey, punchy. And I'm doing haymakers.
Marquis of Queensbury rules.
I'm doing haymakers because I got advantage,
You do have advantage.
and I'm hitting.
So 2 haymakers.
Voters' rights.
Voters' rights.
Commander voters' rights.
not
That's
bad.
2 hits. So that's
I'd really rather you didn't.
16,
So AC is 16.
26 damage.
26 damage.
Dang.
Are you not able to crit on those?
Yeah, I can crit.
Are you making sure if you have advantage? Are you rolling? Was that just for one hand?
Him,
No,
It
that
gives them
was 2
disadvantage.
punches.
him doing a haymaker gives him disadvantage. So because he has
Oh.
advantage,
it
it counters out. But he gets 2
Oh,
attacks.
interesting.
That's why he's only 2
Right.
ways.
I see.
He just
okay.
has advantage.
He has advantage. He can
Vantage.
see him. He has advantage.
Got it. Okay.
He's Vortikov is like he's close to death, but he's still standing.
All right, I'm gonna do a as my bonus action. I'm gonna do the old 1-2.
The old 1-2.
Spend a grit point. Take 2 more swipes at him. 1 miss, 1 hit,
Okay.
and that is 13 damage.
13 damage, and ground commander Vortikov falls.
That's right. And I wasn't doing no fucking subdual shit.
Are you
I
serious?
crushed that motherfucker's skull.
Yeah, you heal giant strength and punch through his back of his head.
That's going to be a good
And
comic.
you see that his entire body twitches as it collapses, like someone cutting the strings from a puppet. And Club goes, "No! Club! That was sweet. It's Copper and Big Cat. There is 1 ogre and 1 orc shaman left.
You're still held by him.
Nails is held. Yes.
Okay.
We are ostensibly reaching the end of this combat.
Got it.
Let's recruit the ogre. Let's try.
Let's recruit.
I can intimidate him.
Well,
I'm gonna
be
shoot
friends with
the
him too. Yeah, let's-
shaman.
I want to be friends with him. I want to intimidate him.
Well, okay.
Ogres respect strength.
18.
18 hits.
I'm not
Okay.
gonna get screwed.
9 damage.
9 damage.
And
Ooh. The shaman is also like pulling this arrow out of its neck. Oh, actually, it has to make a saving throw,
all right.
which it does.
22 hits and 7 damage.
What part of the orc shaman were you aiming at?
With being the best ranger with my highly precision arrow, I let go in his right butt cheek.
Right butt cheek! And he collapses to the ground. The ignominy of it.
What a pain in the ass.
So this guy's gone. Oop, orc shaman gone. Now it's just Club. Now it's just Club the ogre. You are fine. You are unheld.
Let me move this guy. Big cat. 10, 15.
All right. That was Copper and Big Cat. Vortikov is of interest only to historians.
That's right.
And it's now king.
I don't have a great charisma, so maybe I should just beat him up a little bit more, so you guys can try to do something with him.
No, I'm just.
You don't want to recruit him?
Why not?
I'm not interested.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell him to surrender. Your commander's dead, then you'll die too. And what would I roll for that? And
It depends on how you're trying to do it. Are you trying to...
Nicely, I'm a cleric.
You're, okay, then yeah, that would be persuasion. Yeah.
That's a no.
Club!
It was at 15 for a second.
I saw it and it
Like
just tilted
bounce?
right over to 5.
Are you going to do anything else?
That's an action, isn't it?
God, what good's all that charisma?
I don't
if you're
think
gonna be
so.
such a pain in the ass.
You don't think it's an action?
No, I don't think so. I think that's just something you
I
do
want
as
some
part of
ogre
your...
following me
It's an
around.
incidental thing you do as part of your
Fuck.
move or your action.
Well, that wouldn't have helped if I cast guidance on myself. You want to do it on your turn? You want to make a friend?
I was just thinking, hey, big guy, sun's getting real low.
100%. All right, Snuck, I believe in you. Guidance. You get to add a D4 to that next time. when you make a skill
I
check.
could see it. I could see the laser reflecting off that. So is King, are you done?
I'm done. I cast guidance on Schmuck.
And who was it? Was
Nails.
it you that it was? It was definitely Sweet.
Yeah.
So he is going to smack Sweet, and he does. What's your armor class, Sweet?
15, baby.
That was a
Is
one.
that a natural one?
That was a one. That was a one. Hello, hi, how you doing?
Float
Pro-
like a
pro DM.
butterfly, sting like a bee.
He's just so upset. He's in grief over the death of all of his friends, and now he's alone. And the club goes smashing into the ship and just breaks some of the. And all the sailors are like, "Ah, great." That was the ogre's judge.
Alright.
There was only left the ogre.
Alright, so I'm gonna take a whack at him with the greatsword. I hit and I do. Let's see, I got a 17, and then I rolled.
You had
6.
advantage, by the way.
Oh, right. That's what the second one is.
Oh yeah.
11. It's not any better. So I hit, and then I did 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 5 is 11. I do 11 damage on the first one.
11. Got it. Wow.
That's a nat one. Oh, but I have advantage.
Advantage. I was gonna.
I hit.
She rolled it again.
Oh my god, that'd be so bad. I got a 14, so I do another 9 damage to him.
Judge using your lies. You use lies as your
Yep.
fighting style. So
Yeah.
Judge uses his charisma to cajole and trick the ogre into looking the other way, and as a result, he's not well able to defend himself against Judge's greatsword as it lops off his head. Bloop.
Aww.
And
Rip.
he goes,
You killed my guy. I killed
I
your
had,
guy.
I had the best idea. I knew exactly. It was like you were inside my mind, man. I knew exactly what I was going to say to that guy. But
Well,
he's dead
we-
now, so-
well,
He is-
tried.
Yeah. I mean,
We can be friends,
It's
Schmuck. We can
incredibly
work on-
difficult to convince an enemy to fight for you after you have been attacking him and killed all his friends.
Hey man, if you roll 20, it can happen.
No, it doesn't. That
That's
does
not true.
it
It
cannot-
happened.
There's no such thing as a critical hit on a skill or a critical failure. That's good news.
It happened with Andvari's special lady friend, the
Yeah.
cultist who converted to Griffin the Stout on
That's
the spot
true.
when
That's
I rolled
true.
the 20.
That's
so.
true. Yeah, but that was a different scenario.
I
The battle
think-
is over.
I think Club was just going to club.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Oh.
Now that the battle is done, I want to take a second to thank our supporters. You, the only sponsor we have. Thanks to your Twitch subscriptions and Patreon. Probably Patreon's the best way to support us. Thanks to your subscriptions, we get to keep doing this stuff long, hopefully, once the Kickstarter money runs out. And we actually have our first patron reward, which is we're going to do our own version of Talking Dead, where I think we'll try to do it like once every 2 weeks, see what people think. And it's going to be called Chain Reaction. And if you want to, if your patrons can ask questions, and then we'll record the video. So if you hide the hints to the patron page.
I believe you just want to.
Also, what
Oh,
else?
okay.
We've got a wiki now that already has over 400 entries. What? So we have a wiki you can find a link to in the Twitch chat. And if we ever mention any of the places or people that you're like, well, what did he just say? Then there's a good chance the wiki has it, and the folks that monitor the wiki are adding to it all the time, which is
It's impressive.
pretty cool. Yeah, it's
I
pretty
was
cool.
impressed.
People going through and scrubbing through all of the posts and tweets and old videos that I have posted. And I would like to thank our diligent and unsleeping Twitch mods, Croen, Lord Duroc, whose name I recognize, NSK7070, Totafil, I think did I pronounce that right? Totafil?
I think so.
Pesto Enthusiast, another name I recognize from chat, and Cantrip Cody are the folks helping make our Twitch experience reasonable and fun. And I think that's it for all the announcements. The battle is over. So the Riohan seamen start climbing down from the rigging. Blimey. I saw the blimey coming to
Come
your
on.
lips.
Come on. We're all 8 here.
And the ship is underway. You guys are moving. What are you healing?
I'm
Healing
gonna prayer healing now over this conversation.
people?
So all
Nice.
of us get 13 hit points back.
Club already has a wiki entry.
Nice.
It just says club.
Exclamation
Club
point.
is the name. Club is
Fantastic.
highly. Thanks to Ice Borer for pointing that out.
All right, let's have some of the.
So,
men.
what was the result of the poll? How do the crew of the Rossos Yellow react to the fact that the change just came aboard and upset the apple cart?
So to speak.
I don't know.
Well, we're gonna find out.
Are you asking? What?
Tom, what was the last spell you cast?
Me?
Yeah.
The last spell I cast
Oh, I forgot something.
This fire
Poison spray?
was
Firebolt?
no, it was a firebolt
Yeah, because you killed
on the
guy.
shaman. Toasted him up.
Do me a favor
Yeah.
and roll
What's the
percentile.
captain's name?
Uh-oh.
What's the captain's name?
10.
10.
Wait. Now you need to roll again.
Wait, what? How's this work? This is
Oh, so
you roll 2
Percentile dice is this is the ones, and that's the tens.
oh well, that makes
So-
total sense.
So 49.
49.
So let's see.
This is
Oh god.
Oh.
this is a wild magic
Yeah.
burst.
You turn into a
Wild
dandelion.
magic
You can only
surge.
talk in
Yes.
whispers. My unicorn appears.
Okay. So every time during that battle
Mhm.
that Nails cast a spell, every time, there's this weird like, opalescent energy that sparks from his hand or otherwise joins the effect of the spell. And shimmering colors appear and swirl around him. This is something you have not seen before.
So he's kind of like Ajax.
Is that it?
Got rainbows
Yep, for
swirling
now.
around him.
Okay.
I
So
mean, those of
you
you who
can-
had adventured with Nails before know that every once in a while there is a strange side effect to the stuff that he does, and it's pretty unpredictable. But now it appears to be happening every time he casts a spell.
Oh.
And if I had remembered, then he would have rolled a lot more.
Oh.
So I'm gonna order some of our men to
Yeah.
start like stripping the orcs of their valuables and tossing the bodies overboard.
Gadesto looks from Captain Massingham to you and is like, "What shall we do with the cargo?" Which is the thing that you helped load on, which is all of their gear.
Well, I mean, they don't need it anymore.
I imagine they do not.
I'm gonna chain sign to Sweet. Ask him what it is.
It's their gear, right?
Yeah, it's like all of the it's everything a small unit of soldiers would need to carry. It's food and supplies.
Great.
Oh,
Cool.
Should we give it to them as part of our passage?
Just at least split it up.
Captain Massingham approaches you, and Gadesto is with her, and she says, "Let's talk about how much this is going to cost." So, who among you does like the negotiating? This is Matt asking out of like who's the treasurer?
Two shoes.
Two Shoes is the treasurer. Okay.
Mhm.
Because the treasury has a value from 1 to 6, and depending on what you guys are trying to do, that you can either, if you like negotiate really well, or depending on how expensive it is, that can cause the treasury to go down. And because of the crew of the Rossos Yellow, as they walk past you, they're like patting you on the back, and they're like, "Good fight." And they seem to be pretty happy with the fact that you have expunged Ground Commander Vodakov's troops from. They don't appear to like the guy.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Carrying war breed
Wild
all over
shock.
the place.
Um,
Something great.
So would that mean okay? So Two Shoes is one of your
Well, it's up to
As a
it's Two Shoes is the treasurer, but it's up to you guys. Who is the person who's going to negotiate with the captain for how much is it going to cost you guys to get the capital?
I think you should probably do it, Anna.
I'm real scary.
Yeah, we want someone high charisma to do it.
the highest.
I mean, it's natural. It's whoever the person is with the highest charisma.
Mhm.
Obviously, all the senior officers would know that person is the most well-spoken and has the most force of personality. So
Right.
there are, I think sometimes
Yeah.
Is your you have 20 charisma or something crazy like that?
Yeah, my Christmas 20.
What's yours?
18.
That's pretty good. So I think either
well, and
of us could do it.
what skill would you be using?
Well, I think in this case I'd be using persuasion, which is only a +8. Sorry, it's because my intimidation's
Only-
much higher.
Yeah, no, it is.
But I don't want to
Here,
intimidate
how
them.
about this? You can have guidance as well.
What's guidance give
You
me?
get-
roll a
you-
d4 on your skill check.
You get to add a D4.
Okay. Okay, got it. Yeah, I can negotiate with them. If that sounds good. With
Yeah,
everybody
so the
else.
captain's like, you've done a lot of damage to our ship. This has to be paid for.
Did we?
Yeah, you just this whole fight. There's fire everywhere.
Well,
there's holes in the. There's
Really,
holes
it
in
was
the,
it was Club who smashed a hole in the
yes,
hole.
but if it wasn't for you, would Club have smashed that hole in my ship? No. In fact, if it wasn't for you, we'd be on our way to the infinite desert.
Well, that's not 100% sure. I mean, how trustworthy are ogres anyway? They could definitely have smashed a hole in something.
They hadn't yet. They were very well behaved until you came on board.
Fair enough. Let's see.
Push it, get that skill check.
This is the part that I always get nervous about.
You can just go ahead and make a roll.
Oh, I get D4 too,
Persuade.
right?
Persuade.
I rolled a 10 and I add 8 to it, so 18 plus 3 is 21.
Okay. So normally, depending on how the crew was, what their attitude toward you guys was, that would have different effects on how you decrement the die. But because the crew is well disposed to you and because you rolled incredibly well, you guys are able to buy passage. It does cost money, but it costs less than an amount necessary to deck because there's thousands of gold in the treasury. We don't keep track of exactly how much, so you don't have to decrement the value. You're able to buy passage with just a few coins and the goodwill that you have earned.
So when we go through all the supplies, like, is there like what's in their stuff? Can we just
I mean, it's the
Anything
kind of stuff
of
you
note?
would find in like an explorer's pack or a dungeoneer's pack, except times 50.
so nothing of note though.
No,
like
I mean, you
like
could.
the
There's a
sorcerer,
ton of stuff here.
The
There's
the gob or
a
the
fetish,
shaman.
a fetish of Groll.
Yeah.
Groll's the god of the orcs.
Okay.
But apart from that,
Any like alcohol?
Yeah, sure, yeah, absolutely.
Like good
Yeah,
stuff?
there's a crate that has the commander's seal on it,
Uh-huh.
and it has a bunch. It's just rum.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm gonna give it to the I'm gonna give it to the crew.
oh, okay. Yeah, Godesto sees that you're going to do that,
Well,
and
they don't want to drink it now. I just,
yeah, sure. He's
Yeah.
like this is an excellent gesture on your part, but allow us to dispense the. He says, we don't necessarily. I still need my men able to
Yeah.
climb the rigging. So
Right.
tonight we will dispense.
right.
We'll
Well, okay.
dispense the grog.
I mean, I'll give it to him and say,
Yeah.
hey, give this to your men.
He turns to the bed and he says, Commander, what is your name?
Sweet.
Commander Sweet says that tonight the grog is on him, and they all bust open and they start pulling out and they take it below.
Sweet.
Sweet.
I wanna ask.
Godesto claps you on the shoulder and he's like, "Good man, natural commander."
Are Godesto and is it Massingham?
Yeah, Lady Nancingham or Captain.
Captain? They're both still on deck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there are Rioan soldiers walking, all over the ship,
Yeah.
climbing the rigging. And
So I'm gonna kind of sidle over to them and kind of ask them, were you taking the Warbreed somewhere?
Lady Massingham says, "Yes, yeah, they paid for passage."
Were you taking them to Capital as well or somewhere else?
Capital, no, we were on our way to the infinite desert.
To the Infinite Desert.
That's where the Egypt analog is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, right, because the pharaoh hasn't bowed yet.
No, not yet.
Capitulated.
No, not yet. No, the war still rages, and these orcs were going to join it. They had some business in Vaslori. I don't know what.
Jerry's just gone.
You have that cloth.
I don't.
Okay, never mind.
I'm sure there's one around here, but I don't know where it
Don't
is.
worry.
She says, you and your men should join us tonight. They'll be my guests.
Thanks.
My guest at the captain's table.
Absolutely.
For dinner?
Your men, she says, pointing to the other junior officers, and so, will be eating with my men. Down below decks.
Sounds good.
And you guys all stand out as officers, I assume, correct? Like you can tell just by looking at you five are the ones in charge. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
There were 4 of me casting glowy spells.
Correct. But now
Glowy
they're-
opalescent
correct.
spells.
So,
All 8 of us.
Copper, do you get back on Big Cat, or now that you're both on the ship,
Well, I've been laying down on him this whole time.
you've been laying down on him?
Yeah, after this fight. Yeah.
Uh,
I'm out. Oh, I guess I can move him here. So you know.
Big Cat suddenly is like you feel his entire
Oh.
body tense.
Uh-oh.
And those of you who can see Big Cat, his eyes go wide, and he leaps. He suddenly lunges forward 15 feet and tries to get his front two paws around a rat. And he's-
Ah, fall off.
and his eyes is hugely dilated.
As I wake.
And
I was
coppers on the back of the seat.
Hey, it's part of our service. We'll read your ship of vermin.
I was ready for something crazy to happen.
Yeah, I know. Look,
Yeah.
Which, like,
a
a
kraken
giant
comes
cat
up out of the ocean.
pouncing on a rat that you didn't see would be
Oh, yeah.
alarming.
Like, yeah. And he grabs the rat and sticks it in his mouth, and his little rat tail like and after a couple
You gonna
seconds,
share any of that?
he spits he spits the rat out and starts playing with it and tries to escape. So the rat the ship is heading north, which is the route they take to capital. And Gadesto's like, oh, we have no charts planned, but we have done this many times. It should take us no more than 2 weeks. So for the next 2 weeks, you are our guests.
Sweet.
I will show you to your quarters. And there's 3 rooms that'll each house 2 of you. So there'll be one of you is going to get their own room or get to stay with one of the retainers.
The big cat, bro.
And then, I guess Copper and Big Cat will stay in one room.
Hey, new big boss. Can you ask if they have any cheese?
Go ask the cook. Go ask the cook.
Okay, I'm gonna have to hit up
Ask
that
him
cook later.
yourself.
Can we use hit dice to heal
I know my
turns? Tom?
kids.
Yeah, so you can take a short rest. Yeah.
That's good.
It is, so Lars was just asking if you guys can use your hit dice to heal.
Oh.
And the answer is yes. This is you guys are going to be doing anything for the next hour, certainly. So you can call this a short rest and burn your hit dice if you want. As you sail over the course of the day, the sea starts to get rougher. How many of you do any of you guys have like a sailor as a background or anything like that?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Your boy does, right?
Boots. Oh, do you probably don't choose
If I
backgrounds
can
for-
get a long rest, I would like to
Please,
try to get a long rest.
Well, nothing else happens over the rest of the day except dinner with the captain, which I think
That's
we will. But that so you haven't yet. A fight may break out in dinner with the captain. I have no idea what type of dinner guests you guys are. So no, you don't get a long rest yet. But after dinner, you guys will be able to get a long rest. It is 8:30.
okay.
My goal is to stream for 90 minutes, take a break, and stream for 90 minutes, so that we don't knock ourselves out. And if we want to, we can play later if we want. But that's up to us.
Right.
So I think we're gonna take like a 10-minute break.
Okay.
And then come back and do dinner with the captain and see what else happens.
Okay.
So we did one battle and a tiny little bit of role playing. And I think I'm going to hit the start break and see what happens. We will see you folks in 10 minutes. I know that I can't speak for everybody, but I'm still like even more so than last week. I am super conscious of the fact that people are watching. So I do feel I am a little bit self-conscious. I think we're going to show off now that we've done the break. We had a colossal amount of awesome fan art that people created, and we just wanted to show off. And so everybody picked 1 or 2 pieces that we've been linked to on Twitter and in the Discord. And depending on how organized we are, we're pretty organized, but depending on how organized we are, we should get a slideshow from Jerry, and it would be
Yay! There we go.
yeah, this is great. People love the apple cart guy.
Yes.
Apple Core guy was huge.
He has his own wiki
What-
entry.
he does. Look at that. That is some nice line art.
Best supporting NPC
Nothing
was
goods.
Apple Cart guy.
I love
Uh,
this.
There we all are.
I love this kind of. It reminds me of Professor Layton.
Yeah, Max spent like multiple days getting this one together. It's so
Yeah.
cool seeing it come together.
I like this. This is the actual contract, except somebody took it and applied a bunch of awesome handwriting fonts. You can see the ink everywhere. This is what I wanted to do, but I wasn't.
Hey, did we bargain up for
Yes.
100 grand?
This I think is everybody's favorite.
Look at the little arrow.
The arrow is
The arrow
absolutely
makes it.
I just love like
yeah.
Judge's expression. It was just so like I'm over your shit.
I love this.
Oh,
I
this
really
is
like this
so
one.
good. The style's amazing. Look at that hair.
Dead Man in Red too for emphasis.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's how you know it's good. This is great.
Whoa.
Like this is amazing.
Wow.
That
I
is,
thought that was the mini, but they drew that.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. and
Oh,
that's-
look, he's all wrapped up.
yeah, you can see the church in the background's on fire.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Just,
Oh.
just as
Style.
Look, they did the apple card in it too.
Yep, there's a little apple cart.
Yeah.
He missed
And
that
that
the
one's got
first
the
time.
arrow in the commander's hand as well.
Yes.
That's cool.
And even smaller arrows.
Hey,
This-
ILR.
Yeah, we didn't even get linked to this. This is just something somebody drew, and we were scrubbing through references to the chain.
Oh, man.
I
Look
like,
at everybody.
Yeah,
Copper was.
I got the comment on that last one was like, I don't know how to draw cats, so ugh.
yeah. I was like, it looks like
like
a
a
cat.
cat.
to
Wait,
me.
any cat
You were
would
wrong.
draw.
Well, looks like
You
a
know
cat.
exactly how to draw
Yeah,
cats.
100%. Also, somebody, I think it was Carrie P, was watching, and they're one of the people that watch the hack streams. And like, now that all the opponents are dead, the chain needs to start eating their corpses to gain intrinsics. Which is a very net hack joke that may not
Yes.
make sense to a lot of people. So let's see. Where did we leave our heroes? First of all, you guys have several hours between the end of this battle and dinner with the captain. So if there's anything you guys want to do while you're on the ship, it is getting slowly but progressively choppier, the seas. So there's going to be a point probably after dinner where you guys are going to have to start making like con saves to see if you can keep your lunch.
Well,
We're a bunch of
update.
lubbers.
I need an update from Sweden so I can update the Chronicle based on what went wrong.
So when you say an update from Sweet, you mean like you want to talk to him?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I need to know what went down
When?
at the assassination attempt.
Okay.
The commander is dead.
Okay. Fair enough.
I was not directly there.
Got it.
So
Sweet tells him.
Uh,
Yeah,
No,
maybe,
but I
you're
mean,
gonna
I
maybe
already-
actually like go through
no,
it.
no. But well, I mean, he's already written the Chronicle's already been written.
Yeah, yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
So we know. Yeah, that's but like Lars's point is that like I wrote that,
Mhm.
but we haven't yet gotten to the point in this game where
Gotcha. Right,
he has been able to be debriefed.
Right.
But now
So
it's
at
done.
some point, at some point, you're gonna have to debrief him.
He is debriefed.
It's-
Also, he's currently technically still a junior officer, and there's no lieutenant.
Yeah. Yeah.
So these are decisions Sweet's gonna have to make. Although not necessarily now. It's up to you.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a hard choice. It still is a hard choice, and I'm still not 100% sure it's the right choice. But I'm actually going to make the analyst
Okay.
the lieutenant.
So
He was the closest to the captain. You know, he knew the way the captain worked. He also has like intrinsic sort of like deep knowledge of the Chronicle.
Sure.
Which I think will come in super handy for for a lieutenant.
well, you just saved me a little bit of work because I don't know what the Chronicler's ability is. So for the time being, he gets
There
to
you go.
use the lieutenant's ability. You can have more than one title,
Wow.
but you just have to choose like each during a long rest which title you want to get the benefit of.
Right.
And so I still need to figure it out. But now he doesn't have no ability. He has lieutenant's ability.
So congratulations, Lieutenant.
Look at that. That's a field.
Hey,
Yeah. Welcome to the chain, King. I hope you survive.
Hey man, I've been here for a while.
No, I know.
It'll be you
I've been here for quite a while, actually.
I was just quoting that.
as long as
X-Men.
as long as you're alive or until I find somebody better.
So good.
Same goes for you, motherfucker.
Let's see. Yeah, so unless there's anything else you guys want to do while you're on the boat, I mean, the ship has like doctor's facilities. It's got all sorts. It's basically a small floating city, and the crew are well disposed to you. But otherwise, we'll just advance to the. Are you gonna? How are you going to be on Big Cat? Like, are you gonna ride Big Cat around the whole day?
Mhm.
So when you're just like during your downtime, do you ever get off Copper? Get off Big Cat?
Yeah, when I need to rummage for food or something. But
Okay, so otherwise
What
you
about
just
when you have
like
to go
live
to
in the
the
saddle,
bathroom?
basically.
It's like a saddle, yeah.
Yeah, you just live in the saddle.
Yeah.
I get it.
When I have to go to the bathroom.
Well, I assume
Yeah, I'll
you
get
know,
off.
yeah. Okay, cool.
I'll get some of the chain guys to help get the orc bodies off the ship.
Okay, so yeah, the you organize some of the recruits, some of the rank and file, and are they going to help or is it going to be their job? Are they helping the Riohan crew?
We're just
or are
gonna
they
knock
taking
it out because we made a fucking mess of this
Okay.
place.
That's good. That
So-
gets more goodwill from the crew, and so they're happy to be able to go back to their jobs while your guys are
Swap the deck.
cleaning up the blood and throwing all the bodies. And so you go through all of the gear. You find a crate of rum, And there's just a bunch of. It's really nice. I mean, Ajax. These are some of his best soldiers. Ajax provides really good gear to his people. Do you do anything else with the rest of the gear, or do you toss it over?
I mean, I guess it depends on how you. I think we should keep the rations, any of the food stuffs.
Well, I mean, if there's anything anybody in the crew or that anybody in the chain can use, they might as well take it, and then we can dump the rest. if
That's
we don't
true. I
want it.
mean, if there's any, I mean, I guess the armor.
Well, I mean, keep in mind this was the cargo, so it's not like they don't have room for it. We can always take it to wherever we're going, and we can sell it, or we can leave it to them to sell. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
obviously not the pieces that have Ajax's symbols on it, but you know.
Yeah, I think we could dump those over.
Yeah.
Over the side.
Probably burn them.
So you guys currently have one
Sure.
unit of light infantry. So if you guys need to get into battle, which is probably not going to happen on the ship,
Mhm.
but when you guys get to capital, you may end up actually in a real battle, like a war,
Mhm.
where you guys are fighting an encounter and there's a battle happening off
Mhm.
screen. If you guys are keeping this gear, then it's going to improve your soldiers to medium.
Sweet.
Then, yeah, keep it.
So
Heck
do it.
yeah.
I have made a note that you guys now have a unit of medium infantry.
Medium soldiers.
Nice.
But one unit is, I think it's like right now you're like a D6.
Yeah.
A D6 unit of medium infantry. That's just the size.
Mhm.
So you guys are going to need to recruit more folks in order to increase the size of that unit,
Yep.
or different kinds of people.
I'm probably gonna instruct my retainers. I'm gonna instruct Two Shoes to secure the treasury, and then I'm gonna instruct Cook to go down into their kitchen and see if there's anything she can assist with.
Describe Two Shoes to me.
Two Shoes is from.
Two Shoes is your retainer.
Yeah, I don't have anything printed out.
Okay,
Do
no,
you
it's
have the
not.
cards?
It's not a yes.
Oh,
Right
crap.
there,
That
the
doesn't actually have
card's
the,
not
that
gonna
doesn't
have
The
have
the
cards. The
description.
cards don't have the.
This is
the
combat
text.
stuff.
Correct. Yeah. Yes.
I told you that wasn't happening. There's not room for it, and you made a fucking skinwalker, and there's literally no room. So
There's skinwalkers have a lot of text.
He's like, can you change it? I was
Is
like,
Two
no.
Shoes a skinwalker? No.
No.
What one of them
Just-
is,
what is
but-
Two Shoes then? Oh, a paladin, right?
Yeah.
Isn't Two Shoes a paladin?
Yeah, she's the one that's like she's like the righteous, really righteous one or
Okay.
whatever. She's where is it where they have different she's like a stoic.
Yeah, she's a Phaedron from the Commonwealth.
Yeah, so she's
Yeah.
from Phaedros, right?
Yeah, Phaedros.
Yeah, so she's from Phaedros.
Most people
she
just call it the Commonwealth.
she looks a lot like a younger version of Lady Avelina.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, that's super interesting.
Mhm.
So you guys are both lawful, but she's probably good and you're evil.
Well, two sides of the same coin.
So she's like, do you trust these people?
I don't know yet.
'Cause she doesn't.
Yeah.
Where should I? She asked for 4 of the rank and file to help her guard the treasury.
We can do that.
Okay. She'll pick 4.
Yeah.
That's unusual. It's normally her and one other person. So a guard of her and 4 is a lot.
Yeah, I'll leave it up to her to choose who she thinks would be best for that. And then for the cook, just with that in mind from what Two Shoes said, I'm gonna tell Cook to, keep an ear out whenever you hear people talking, whenever they're eating,
Okay.
socializing.
That's cool. Yeah.
Just kind of like, if you hear anything of interest, let me know.
There probably should be a salute, but I don't know what it would be off the top of my head. But we'll think about it. We can talk about it offline.
Some sort of.
There's a kind of classic generic kind of salute.
Mhm.
Yeah, Cook's like, yeah, okay, no problem, boss. I'll see if I can help out with the. She was a ship like this. There's got to be a large chef's contingent that I can go help out with, and Two Shoes says we'll have guards on the treasury round the clock.
So is this the part where we're telling our retainers what to be doing?
It's up to you. Yeah, you can. There's no obligation. They're all gonna find stuff to do
Right.
and help out the crew. They just survived this apocalyptic battle. They're probably gonna want to go find their quarters and
Right.
just crash for a little while and then wake up for dinner.
Yeah, because I mean, Angel's thing is just always keeping an eye out for trouble. Like
Okay.
keeping an ear out. He's sneaky, right? So yeah.
Okay, no problem. That's easy to do. Angel's a halfling, right?
Yep.
Got it. Halfling assassin. Cool. Yeah. So Cook is going to go mingle. Angel is going to go. Let's see if anything interesting is happening. Two Shoes is going to grab 4 of the rankers to guard the treasury and find a safe place for it. And I assume Boots is going to mingle with the Rioan crew
Oh yeah.
because presumably Boots knows them or is a countryman of theirs and can probably find out if there's anything to find out. Otherwise, the ship continues north.
Ooh.
And the weather gets worse Yes.
One thing I never did, I took the necklace of firebolts, or
Yes.
necklace of fireballs,
Yeah.
rather, keeping this mixed up. And I threw it on. It was early in the morning.
Yeah.
I knew I might need it, but I never actually checked out how many beads it has.
Right. Yes.
So
Okay. Is it just a roll?
Oh.
Mhm.
it is
I
a
have
roll.
not looked up. I have not
Yeah.
looked up how Necklace of Fireball works.
It is 1d6 plus 3.
I think 3.
Yeah, 1d6 plus 3.
That sounds good.
Less.
So I have
Nice.
7.
7 total.
Pretty good.
Write that down.
Not bad.
Very cool.
I like your character sheet. That's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's so
Where'd you get that?
convenient.
I just photoshopped it.
Fair enough.
Shooped it.
Fair enough. Did
It's a
you
skill
kit
set.
bash that together? Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Yes. UI designer. The sun starts to set, and as it gets toward dusk, Adesto comes and collects you and says, "Dinner in the captain's mess."
Real quick, before
Actually, he
we
would say,
go,
he goes, "Dinner in the captain's mess. Come.
before we go
We eat well here on the Rosso Cielo."
Alright. Before we go to
Sounds good to
dinner,
me.
What is this?
What is
I'm
this
gonna
judge is doing?
Spend a quick minute in our quarters, and I'm gonna use augury.
Who is staying with who, by the way?
Oh right, we need to figure
So
out
Copper and Big Cat are going to get a room to
cheers.
themselves because Copper and Big Cat are two people.
who has been in the chain the longest with Judge.
That is a good question. Not King. It's probably going to be
Well, I
Sweet.
can't stay with King.
It's probably going to be Sweet.
Judge actually recruited Sweet.
Yes, that's why. There we go.
Oh, I did. That's right.
Sort of.
It has been a while.
I have not yet gone through and read, especially because some people wrote quite a lot.
We're hanging out.
That leaves us.
Yes.
High five me? You're gonna leave
New
me?
guy.
Wow.
New guy. Again, new
Wow.
guy.
New
All right. So Judge and Sweet are in a room together, and King and Nails. The rooms are small. Like it's like a submarine, right? It's everything is cramped, and every time you go below decks, you're always having to like squeeze past other people who are coming up or going down.
I'm gonna go ahead and keep a gust of wind cast in our room so it doesn't smell like cigarettes.
Just to win.
Oh my
So,
god.
it doesn't smell like cigarette. So every time he lights a cigarette, it goes out. You're like, God damn it.
As soon as we get to our stateroom, it's shot glasses. One apiece, one in memory of Red, and then one a toast to your promotion.
All right, I'll take that. Even though you left me hang.
Does King drink?
In this kind of situation with the
Fair
commander dead, absolutely.
I don't know. I don't know what you're a cleric. I don't know what your religious prescriptions are. There could be a holy forbiddance against alcohol, for all I know.
Not in Hagara.
Not after a day like this.
Yeah.
Clink.
That's cool. So the Judge and Nails and King are celebrating. Can I see your character sheet for a second, Tom? Otherwise, it's dinner with the captain and the rest of the crew.
I'm gonna do my thing.
That's right. You're gonna do your thing. You're gonna do augury. You said.
Yes, augury.
Are you familiar with Augury?
I am. Well, I'm familiar with the spell from olden times. I assume it still works the same way. You're going to cast the spell. You're going to commune with your higher power, in this case, Asmodeus.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to ask a question pertaining to the future, some future action, some future path that you're going to take. And you're going to get an answer that is wheel or woe, or like wheel and woe.
Wheel and woe.
Yeah.
It's very clear.
Wheel, by the way, is the same wheel that's in wealth as in commonwealth. Commonwealth means the common health of the.
So well. It's gonna go well.
Yeah, it's going to go well or it's going to go badly. Wheel or woe. Wheel, woe, or oh fuck.
Alright. So yeah, Judge is obviously not gonna do this out in public. Judge is gonna retire.
Are you doing this in your cabin?
in the cabin.
Okay. Has Sweet seen Judge do this before?
I'm gonna guess that Sweet
I
seen
know
like
it.
most of the
I
weird
know
How
shit
does
it's
that
Sweet
Judge
react
does.
to Judge's weird, like, sudden? That's a loaded way of describing
Yeah,
it.
why would you call it weird?
I'm just saying.
Just
I
'cause
let
it's different.
Judge's, well, because it's not something Sweet does. It's probably not something Sweet's seen anybody else do. But Sweet is used to it. How does Sweet react to this
He
ritual?
reacts. Puts his hat down over his eyes.
It's like, I don't know why. I don't know. This
Yeah.
is weird.
Well, he's exhausted,
Yeah,
right?
sure. Okay.
So he's resting, but you know it's nothing. It's
I'm not bothering him with it. So Judge is gonna be kind of quietly speaking infernal while shuffling cards,
So yeah.
communing.
So Judge is gabbling in his heathen lingo while shuffling his card. Is that in any way reflect the deck?
I actually chose another one.
I'm surprised because you showed me Anna collects tarot decks.
Yeah.
I actually thought it would be a cool adventure to design, a D&D adventure, in which there were many different decks, not just the deck of many things. There were many different decks, and they all had their own agency and their own goals, and there was some kind of conflict between them, and the players were collecting cards from them. I thought that would be really cool.
That would be cool.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm a busy dude.
Yeah. All right, so just because we're just checking out like what is just about to happen, we're trying to figure out like, is it going to go well? Is it going to go poorly? Is it like a mixture of the two?
Right.
So-
What is when you say what's it?
The dinner with
Dinner,
the
just dinner?
captain.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Because
Go ahead and
this
cast
is
your
not
fate.
like a long term thing. This is like
No,
kind of an
correct.
immediate thing
Yeah.
about to happen in the
Yeah.
future.
Makes sense.
How's it going to go? All right. So is it real low or real and woe?
What's the card?
It says void.
Uh,
I don't know if people.
yeah, you should show the card off. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like the art on
It's from Etsy.
that.
Imaginary bestiary.
Wheel.
Awesome. All right. So I pack up my shit.
Does that change? Learning that, does that change Judge's demeanor?
Makes him a little bit more comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's what I would expect. Yeah.
So also means I probably won't get food poisoning.
No, correct. Yeah.
So what did he say?
Looks good. Let's enjoy some food.
Dinner with the captain. It's one of the larger rooms, personal rooms on the ship, but it's still pretty small. It's actually about as big as this table, right? And there are 6 plus 5. There are 11 people crammed around it.
Oh wow.
So
It's a trick count.
so and they it's 1-1-1-1. So you guys are all sitting amongst in between the crew, and they all get right up next to you guys. These guys, first of all, they're Rioans. And is Big Cat there?
No,
There's
she's,
no way Big Cat
this is me right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
So
the kids
the Gadesto explains that they can give, if you have a harness for Big Cat, we can keep her a harness for your beast. Doesn't call it Big Cat because it doesn't know the thing's name. If you have a harness for your beast, we can keep it secure and well supplied with fish. I'm sure it looks like a cat. I'm sure it likes fish.
Oh, it's one of its favorites.
Oh, okay, excellent. So yeah, Big Cat will be safe and well fed.
Okay.
And
It was growling at me earlier so
yeah,
for food.
yeah, when it pounces on the food, it's like "Arr, arr." It does that all the time. You guys are used to it. Yeah, so Copper is like right below. And the Rioan crew they have a very different idea of what like personal space is. And so they've worked in the sun all day, and many of them, the men are shirtless. It's a mixed crew.
So you're saying we're covered in Riojan semen?
No, not necessarily. There's a lot of it in here. Yes. And they're making sure you guys have
now it's
Not
really
like
indie.
this. Not like this.
so there are times when I'm incredibly self-conscious. That was not one of them. Suddenly I'm just back to playing D&D with my friends. Yeah.
That's true.
We're all 14 again.
Sorry.
So the captain sits at the head of the table, and the crew sits in amongst you folks. And Captain Massingham, she's a big lady. She takes up an entire side of the thing, and she likes to kind of, she likes to take up more room than even her large body requires. And she just is watching you folks and how you interact with the crew. And everybody on the crew, the men and women of the senior officers, are making sure you guys have plenty of food, and they're passing stuff around. And it's an incredibly well-furnished meal. The officers eat really good. There's many, and the cook comes in, and that cook has an assistant, and they put out different courses. And there's potatoes and yams is one course, and it's delicious. It smells amazing. Once the food comes in, it no longer smells like sweaty Rioans. It starts to smell like delicious food. And they have questions like the Captain Massingham wants to know from you. She says, so the chain, like, surely the chain is broken. What is left for you now? Why capital? What is there? Well, you were very insistent when you came on board. You gave it no thought at all. What is there in capital? What do you plan on doing?
Hey, you know, as long as the Chronicle survives, and as long as there's, you know, the chain is never broken.
So the Chronicle, what is this?
That's our book. That's our history.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
You know, I mean, capital. There's no Ajax in capital, and there's a lot of people, and we need to build up our strength. So,
And what do you plan on doing once you've built up that strength?
and we have a contract that we have to fulfill.
That kind of blows her away. Well, do you have plans for when you get? And then Gadesta will ask.
Mhm.
Do you have plans? I know many people in capital. I mean, many of the people here on the ship are from capital. Do you have plans when you get there? What will you do?
I don't know if Sweet would divulge that information.
Well, there are ways to answer without divulging that information.
Yeah, except I'm not a politician, so I'm
Fair
trying to
enough.
think.
Fair enough. The quartermaster, who's a Higaran woman, who's sitting across from the judge.
Mhm.
Do you have this? I think in your art it has like a symbol of Asmodeus on your armor. Is that accurate?
I don't think that's on there.
Are you sure? Because I know there's the chain symbol on there, and the artist was like, "Is there a? Does he have a holy symbol?" And I was like, "I think so." So
That's,
does there no?
You're
on this
thinking
one?
of the Illrigger art.
Oh, I might be. I
Yeah,
might be.
you're thinking
Yeah.
of the Illrigger.
So is
art.
there any? Do you have like a holy symbol? Do you have the device of Asmodeus on your outfit anywhere? That would be a classic kind of paladin thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, except like, I'm not an idiot. I understand that people aren't super keen on hanging around people who worship devils typically.
Would that bother Judge?
What part?
Would Judge care if people weren't keen on it?
Like, not really. So, but I don't think like getting it hammered into like armor and stuff like that. I
Sure.
think he likes to keep it a little closer to the heart. So he has like
Fair
a
enough.
pendant
Fair
with the symbol on it.
I get it. Right.
And then, but yeah, definitely before the meal though. I don't know if you do prayers before you eat, but Judge does.
Really? And what is this also in Infernal? Is this when you like? I see. Is it highly ritualized? Or is it just like you're saying grace?
I mean, it's got like a couple hand motions, but it's pretty quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you are doing this, the quartermaster says, "We have been." She, by the way, she appears to be like Higaran. She has epicanthic folds in her eyes, but all the crew, except the captain, all speak with a heavy Rioan accent. She says, "We have." She's looking at your horns and at your tail, and she says, "We," and she's pointing to the other crew members. She says, "We have been all over the world. We have seen many things, but where are you from?" She asks.
Alloy.
She whispers to the other people, and they don't know where that is. She says, "Alloy, is this a place? Is this the desert? Or is this
Do they like what's the place that it's Quintessence? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alloy is the capital of the plane of Quintessence."
Okay, so then I respond. Alloy is the capital of the planet of Quintessence.
At that, Gadesto says, yes, I understand. Yes, we also sail the." Then Gadesto goes, and Gadesto goes, "Oh, and how did you get here from there?"
The chain. I joined him.
And the captain is astonished at this. The captain's like, "You all have you all been to this other world? Well, then what are you doing here?"
We have a contract here.
For us, we carry cargo and ferry people back and forth, and we do not concern ourselves over much with contracts.
So do you prefer Quintessence over here?
Now, the captain says, "I personally have never been to Quintessence. No, we try to," and she looks at Gadesto and says, "We try to stay on these seas whenever possible." I notice one of the chief carpenter says they all introduce themselves, and so you get to know them and their jobs, and these are the folks that run the ship. And the chief carpenter says, "I noticed that none of you use your real names."
Yep.
She says, is that only true of the officers, or is it a tradition in the chain?
Well,
Go ahead.
there's really no use for a real name in the chain.
She says,
The lives we lived before are essentially over now.
huh. Yeah. And the chief surgeon, Alonso, is like, oh, I like that. Yes, yes. Oh, but perhaps we should do the same thing. Perhaps we should adopt names. And they all start like giving each other ridiculous names. The chief surgeon says to the carpenter, "You would be Marshmallow, I think, because you're soft and squishy." And they all start giving each other shit about this.
You got it.
The captain looks at Sweet and says, "What kind of man joins the chain?" This is, by the way, this is the only place where she has her hat off.
Right.
Right, and you see she's got this like awful haircut. It's like straight, like straight hair that grows out from underneath a cap that's almost never off.
Nice. A man who's looking for a new start.
And has no place to return to.
Is that true of each of you?
Yep.
Cadesto is stabbing. At this point, there's other courses of meal have arrived, and Cadesto is cutting and stabbing at fish. And he says, "This seems a very bleak existence," he says. Takes a bite of his food.
The chain is our family.
And they all look to each other, and Cadesto says, "Oh, I think I understand."
No one's stronger than the chain. As I look up from my.
It's like a platter of cheese.
Sir. Can I get some more food?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. You're like ravenous. You just like,
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. So at this point, as the evening wears on, the weather, the seas are getting progressively more rough until eventually the ship is like, it's like being on a roller coaster, right? There are times or like really, really bad air turbulence where the entire ship plunges down a wave, and you guys can't see. There are no windows in this cabin.
So you just feel it.
Yeah, you just feel your stomach drop out, and at this point, you guys are eating, and none of you really have the sailor background. You guys have been on boats before, but not, you've never had a career on a boat. It's always been something you've had to endure. So now you guys are gonna have to make con saves to see how you deal with this incredibly rich food.
Why'd I eat all that?
Can I guidance myself or no?
Can you guidance yourself? Can you guidance yourself?
If not, could you guidance me?
Willing creature, I'm willing.
You are a willing creature. I sort of
1d4 ability check.
I sort of assume it means something
Plus
else.
con?
Con save.
But-
Let me look at the full thing.
I'd be curious to know if there was an
Fire
official
resist
ruling on can you cast guidance on yourself. I don't see why not, actually. You can cast lots of spells on yourself. It says willing creature. You're a willing creature. Yeah.
I'm assuming 25 is good.
Well, I mean, we'll see. The seas are rough, but yeah, probably you're fine. So yeah, chat says, wait, if I move just at the right,
Yeah, you just shook the camera. Somehow. How did you even...
he just whacked it. That's
Oh.
going to happen. There's cameras hovering.
Well, I
over
saw
our
you
heads.
doing that, then I saw it
Sooner or
shaking.
later,
I was
yeah.
like, how's that
I was
even
hoping if I
possible?
vibrated at exactly the right frequency, it would look like Phil had done nothing
It
wrong.
would look like there were 4 of you in the same place.
Mirror image.
I wonder if chat has noticed that I've got Ajax over one shoulder and Relg over the other. I hope so. I hope so. I'd love to spend the rest of the campaign like this.
That's awesome.
So what was Judge's result?
18.
King?
15 unless I can guidance.
You can guidance yourself. Nails?
18.
Ooh, 25.
Wow.
Copper?
15.
Iron stomach.
Yeah, you guys are all fine.
I got a stomach of
Iron stomach.
steel. Iron stomach.
Yeah, so you are all able to, and this very much impresses the Ryogan crew. The fact that you guys are able to not just keep your food down, but also like keep your sea legs about you and be, everything on the table, like it moves, and whenever the ship goes down or it starts climbing again, things fall back to the side before they slide down the dungeon, and all the crew and then you guys very quickly learn to eat
While it's in front of you.
Yeah, exactly. As it's
it's like,
moving, it's this crazy movable feast, and it's like anything else. You start getting your sea legs under you, and it becomes second nature.
Awesome.
They bring out dessert, And the cook, it takes 2 people to carry this huge pudding in. And the captain is at this point she's kind of full, and she's been talking to you folks, and she's like, "Oh yes, excellent. Yes, we had the cook make something special just for you." And it's a big pudding that's got sauce all over it. And when she puts it on the center of the table, you can see that using chocolate and a little bit of cream and red, looks like jam or jelly or something like that, some kind of fruit sauce, some kind of dark red fruit sauce. It's the symbol of the chain.
Oh,
It's made out of.
impressive.
Is made out of. She goes, well, it took us a long time.
What are
to
you all
find the
looking
cook."
at? I can't see that.
Yeah, it took us a long time to find Galga. She's probably the best cook on the ocean right now.
You guys eat well.
Well, that's one of we have to keep people happy when you're on a small ship. You're all cooped up, and one of the things we can do is get well provisioned in a place like Black Bottom and make sure people eat well. And right now, the crew are enjoying an extra ration of rum thanks to your generosity.
Cheers.
Yeah, she'll a toast to the chain, and they all toast you. And
To the chain.
These guys are all pretty happy. Who was? I saw there was some minor, some kind of command decision you made earlier, appointing one of your men. What happened to? What happened back in Black Bottom?
The captain was slain.
The captain before you.
Yeah.
So you have only been captain for a matter of hours.
That's right.
Oh, interesting. How well did you know the captain?
Pretty well. He was a good man.
Did Ajax slay him personally? We heard stories.
Not quite. I mean, I'm gonna change the subject.
Oh, and Gadesto was like, yeah, don't, why bring it? And otherwise,
I'll say to the captain.
and yeah, they all to the captain, and of course the Rowan crew don't know the guy. Yeah, absolutely.
The commander,
Great,
sorry.
to the commander. Yeah, great reason to drink. Absolutely. Yeah, whoever that guy was. Yeah, and they all drink to the captain or commander. Yeah. So if there's anything else, unless there's anything else you guys want to do, then this is going to be the dinner is just going to continue with small talk and conversation. If there's anything you guys want to learn about the crew of the Rosso Cielo, you're free to ask. But even if you don't, you're just going to get to know these folks. So even if you don't ask, you're going to learn a lot about them.
Well, we should probably also learn about. We're going to Capital, and a lot of them are from Capital.
Yeah.
And we need leads. We need to figure out, who are the people to know. We're going to be looking for work, that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah. No, let's go for it.
So. All right. Well, Gadesto was talking about he knew a lot of people in Capital.
Oh yes, well, I mean, many of us. In fact, I think almost the entire crew are from Capital. Yeah.
But you said you had a lot of contacts in Capital.
No, I know. Yes, I know many people there. Yes, I'm. You might say I'm well connected.
Who are the people to know out there?
I mean, do you want names? Like I can tell you, there are many factions there. Many people.
Well, tell me about the structure of Capital.
He'll debrief you. Yeah, sure. He'll talk about how there's like 7 major factions that all war for control. He goes, oh, actually, an interesting piece of information. The prince was recently murdered. And
Prince of what faction or Prince of?
No, the prince, the Lord of Capital,
Oh,
Prince
wow.
Regent, the Prince Regent. Yes.
He's a regent, so there's no king.
Oh, it is a hereditary title. The king died. Oh, I don't know, 1,300 years ago, and the Kalian Empire placed the prince in charge of the city, and that is how it has been ever since. But now he is dead. He left no issue.
Who
And now
murdered
there's-
him? Do they know who murdered him?
Oh, well, I'm sure somebody does. The murderer, probably.
What do you know about it?
Oh, I know nothing.
So why don't they name a new king?
Well, you see, there is not really a provision for the prince dying and leaving no heir.
Well, no. I mean, it's a prince regent, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's just a title.
Right.
It's
okay.
not there. You've encountered that idea before.
Yeah.
It's like what's his name? It's like imagine Denethor,
Mhm.
except there's like Denethor was like the 60th regent,
Right.
but there's no heir.
Right. But what are they waiting for? Like,
Not waiting for anything.
What king are they waiting for?
I mean, he is effectively like they're. I mean, it would be like having a king of Rioja, except there isn't one. There's just a bunch of different countries.
Hmm.
So capital is like an independent city state,
Mm-hmm.
and the title of the person in charge of there is just Prince Regent.
Hmm.
And if you go back a long time ago, there was a king of the entire region
Mm-hmm.
that capital is a city in,
Mhm.
but there hasn't been one of those in 1,300 years.
Hmm.
So no one's waiting for anything. He was just the guy in charge.
So
And
he was murdered?
oh yes, Yes, I think he was poisoned. And then another crew member goes, oh, no, I heard he was stabbed.
Hmm.
Somebody's, yeah.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah, and so they have a little bit of a debate about what happened to the prince.
Mhm.
And there was a great his body was produced and covered in wounds, and so no, I heard they never found the body.
What was his
Mhm.
name?
He tells you the prince's name.
In other words.
Yeah.
So this dude knows, and now you know,
Prince X.
Yeah.
but Ash does not know.
Prince
You
Regent.
know, we have like
Prince
30,
Regent
30
X.
hours of world building, and we don't know the name of the prince. Probably there's a point where people in chat asked, "What's the name of the prince?" I'm like, I don't know. He's dead. I'm not going to worry about it.
He said, but you said it's like a hereditary, like a family thing.
Correct.
I guess it doesn't matter at this point. But did they have like a last name or something? Would that be divulged at the same
No,
time?
I think there, like, if you go back far enough, there was one, but he didn't take that family didn't have a last name because they were like technically the last name would be capital.
Ah, oh,
right?
okay.
Because
Yeah.
they were the regent of, but it was something that
Right.
had not been observed for a long time.
So it's
And normally he would name an heir, and so this is a time. And he goes, historically this has happened before, although not in recent memory. And typically the Privy Council simply appoints a new Prince Regent.
Hmm.
Yes, except in this case the Privy Council does not agree.
Are there a couple of front runners?
Oh, I'm sure there are, but I don't know who they are. Probably, I think the Lord Prospero Alvaro is probably the person most likely to become. In his yearbook, it says most likely to be named Prince Regent. Yeah. Yes,
So-
but I think there will be much bloodshed before that happens.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. It sounds like this is there's going to be a fair amount of skullduggery before this is resolved.
Good word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, in fact, I think that it says the last time we were in capital, which was I don't know, 2 months ago.
Mhm.
It definitely seemed as though the city was much tension. Yes. Now all the different factions have their own guards, their own police. Each one controls a different section of the city, and so far there's been no open bloodshed. But how long can that last?
Would we already
There could be
know,
war by the time we arrive. Who knows?
Would we already know the factions just from being around the world?
Well, I mean, Boots probably does. He knows. He would know some of them. Like so, but Boots.
Well,
is not
Modesto is probably a better expert on it. So can you tell us about the factions?
Yeah, he'll debrief you on that stuff. There's like he describes.
You just want to get us a printout.
Oh, it's up to you guys. Like we can do it here, or I can deliver you guys like a list. But he describes how there's, it's a strange situation right now. I'm not sure how to describe it because only 3 years ago, the prince there was a very unique circumstance with one of the houses, the heads of the houses, noble houses, was assassinated, and his wife. It is a long story, but now the prince needed money, and he allowed 3 of the. This is not Matt talking. He allowed 3 of the heads of the guilds who were not nobles to buy into the nobility because he needed the money because taxes dried up.
But now that he's dead, how does that work?
Well, you see, this is the problem. Is now the Privy Council is no longer united. It is no longer all noblemen who follow the noble tradition. Now there are some noblemen on the Privy Council, and there are some of these newly rich guildmasters, and they do not agree. The guilds and the nobles, they do not get along. In fact, one of the guilds now runs the docks, so it's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. So they.
I'd be willing to bet that somebody's going to probably need some hired muscle.
Yeah, I was gonna say this sounds like a situation that could be
Profitable.
lucrative to a handful of rough and tumble types.
Oh, and also there are very
Yes.
few people in the city who are friends of Ajax. This could work in your favor.
Sounds like
Yes.
Are they? So they're familiar with Ajax.
Oh, yes. The whole world knows of Ajax.
Hmm.
Yes.
If you were us,
Yes. I would be much less handsome, for one thing. Yes. Less well spoken.
thank you. Sure it is. Not everybody's as ugly as you, Anna. Sorry, as judge.
Wait, so I'm.
You look beautiful, Tom.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Tom, you saved my life.
Oh,
All right,
thank
I
you.
love you in Big Cat.
Everybody loves
I'm
bacon.
beautiful.
Everybody loves bacon.
Go straight to his head.
So
Yeah.
if you were going to approach one of these factions and you had the choice of all of them, who would you talk to?
Oh, I do not know. It depends. If I were you, what would I do?
Mhm.
Well, if you were me and I was you, would I be more concerned about winning, or would I be concerned about doing the right thing? Because I do not get a good sense from you of which is which, and I myself, I do not have a well-developed sense of what
Winning.
of
Yeah,
what
definitely
either
winning.
of winning.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
can judge winning. Oh wow, that is a difficult decision, but I would not bet against the nobles. The guilds, they have much power and they have much money and they are growing all the time, but the nobles have been at this game for a long time. And I suspect if push comes to shove right now, I would imagine that the Lord Prospero Alvaro would be most likely to come out ahead.
What kind of power is it that the nobles have? Because it seems like the guilds take control of things like commerce and transport and the docks, for example. But what is it that the nobles have that the guilds don't?
Well, each of them controls a
Money,
different part of the
soldiers.
city, and each guild and each of these noble houses. And do not mistake my meaning when I say there are 7. These are the great houses. And now these guilds are now, and the other people at the table, by the way, are all having completely different conversations. They are 100%, yeah, they're
Cross-talking.
100% disinterested in they've been to capital. A lot of them don't particularly like it. That's why they signed up for the ship. And so to them, this is all old news and not very interesting. But Gidesto loves talking about it. And he describes how there's, the 7 different factions, each control their own area. So it's almost like 7 different cities. Right? So when you talk about what power do they have, each of them has almost supreme power within the city. They have their own armies.
Oh, like you're saying city states.
Yeah, they're each a little city-state, and they're each kind of segregated from the others. They're not intermingled. And then there's all the prince's territories, which are now up for grabs. But no one has yet been the person to kind of reach out and try to grab the prince's holdings. Because no one wants to be the first one to tip everything over into war, because that looks bad.
So the houses don't war with each other.
Well, there is I don't know how you would put it. It is a war, but it is not a hot war with fighting in the street. It is more of a
subterfuge.
yes. Oh yes, absolutely. Oh yes, the great game is always being played. Yes, spies, assassins. Yes, that is I would say the number 1 export of capital is information.
And you said who is it there that doesn't like Ajax?
Well, I don't imagine any of them like Ajax very much, but I suspect if anyone was going to work for Ajax, it would be the guilds. All they care about is money. They could be bought.
This
The nobles, I do not like the noble houses, but they do support the traditions of Rio.
this Lord, well, let me ask this. Gidesto,
Yes. Yes, my friend. Here, let me light your cigarette.
who tell me about let me think about how to ask this.
Take your time.
Basically, I'm trying to ask Gidesto like what the crew's relationship is with like the guilds of Rioja versus. I imagine they have a relationship with the one that controls the docks.
Yeah, the fulcrum. Yeah, they deal with. Well, you see, there's an interesting situation because traditionally, I'm kind of dipping back and forth from Gidesto to Matt, depending on how outrageous the accent is that I'm putting on. But he describes how like the fulcrum run the docks, and they are purely secular, non-noble, commerce-oriented. But because it's the docks, because it's the first, all trade comes in and out through this district. All of the different houses have a presence here, right? And it's the kind of most outrageous part of the city. It's the least lawful part of the city. And all they try to do is stop it from going over being like disorganized, stop it from turning to violence and chaos. That's all the Fulcrum's guards do. So almost anything you could need or buy, even if it would be technically illegal, you can get there. The first thing you're going to deal with, he talks about, he says, that large box of yours you had. Yes, I assume it was full of money.
Who knows?
Yes, gold,
I've never looked
gold,
inside of it.
gems. The men have been talking. They have imagined everything in that box. But you paid us in gold. I presume it comes from the treasury. They will confiscate that from you. Yes, you see, they do everything with paper in capital. They will hold it for you, and they will give it back to you if you leave. But they do everything with paper currency. Yes, yeah, it's a very strange custom.
How reliable is that system?
Oh, within capital, it's completely reliable.
Is there a taxation whenever you get
Oh,
your?
there's a small fee.
And who controls that?
I don't know if I think it might be the Fulcrum. I
Okay.
think they're the
They're a guild?
assayers. They're the assayers.
They're like
guild.
yeah.
Yeah, they're the assayers guild. The fulcrum is the part of an assayer's scale in the middle. So you put goods on this end and cash on the other, and they take it's a little bit in the middle. And he talks about how the first thing that's going to happen when you guys use before you talk to anybody in the fulcrum, you're going to have to deal with customs. And customs and immigration are like one organization, but it's this weird Gidesto has a hard time explaining it. It's this dual organization where the board is 2 people. And one of them is always a member of the fulcrum now, and the other one is a nobleman. And they kind of don't agree. but that's the way this office is run. So that's the first thing you guys are going to deal with when you get off the boat.
So what's the smoothest way for us to get through this?
I would say do not rock the boat. It says pay your taxes, pay your fees, and leave customs and immigration behind. They will want to inspect your goods, but you're mercenaries. I do not imagine you have any contraband. You have weapons, you have armor, you have men.
What's contraband in capital?
That's a good question. It's mostly going to be poisons, and you'll be able to use your weapons on the docks. You'll be able to walk around that entire. It's like a little city. You guys will be able to walk freely with your weapons out, but they would confiscate them before you left the docks. Only knights are allowed to wear weapons openly in the city. He's trying to think of anything else. There is a list of goods, and it includes like wood from this place. It's all trade. It's all a result of treaties they have with other places. What's allowed? There's like a certain kind of fish you're not allowed to import in the capital. He doesn't think you guys have that fish. Yeah, there's all sorts of. The list of contraband is all. It's not like drugs or guns or anything like that.
Aerosol
It's mostly it's nothing like that. It's mostly we made an agreement with this country not to import this so that our economies wouldn't collapse.
Right.
And it's a really long and obscure list of often nonsense.
Is Big Cat contraband?
Is big no. Capital is a very you'll see many things equally strange. I mean equally unusual. Equally six-legged. Capital is a very strange city.
This is a question for what was the name?
Yeah, probably.
Massingham?
Yes, Lady Massingham.
Why were you guys working for Ajax?
She's just eating and talking to one of the dishes. Oh, you're talking to me. We don't work for Ajax. We took Ground Commander Border Box. We took his money, and we were going to take him to the Infinite Desert, just like we took your money, but we're not working for you.
All right.
That's an important point from her point of view.
Right.
They came and booked passage, and she said, "Okay,
Right.
sure, yeah, we'll take you to the Infinite Desert."
Yeah.
And she didn't ask any questions.
Right.
She goes, "I will tell you this though, I would not have invited Ground Commander of Border Box to dinner."
That's good to know.
Gadesto does inform Nails because he saw you casting spells and stuff that there's a prohibition against magic
Oh,
in the city.
damn.
There are ways around it.
It's like we're going to California.
There was Phil. You can't have a stock that's longer than certain thing. There's all sorts of crazy laws for your weapons. We do not have a wizard on board, so I do not know what but I know there are ways around it. There are licenses you can get, and you just have to talk to the right people. There may be somebody on board who I could talk to that would be able to find a representative of the appropriate. I don't know if it's a church or a university or something.
Well, we should probably do that.
Yeah, I should probably talk to the
I
guy.
imagine that the noblemen's personal armies and guards and stuff like that are armed, right?
Yeah, well, the way what he's describing is like, yeah, there's like each house has a couple of different polices, right? They have like the district police, and then they've got their private police, and they've got kind of a small army, and so there's all sorts of different. There's lots of weapons. They just all have. Basically, it's really easy to come by things like a knighthood. It's really easy to come by the kind of seal you would need to show somebody. So if you got a spell fight with somebody, or just guards would show up and they would demand either they're going to arrest you or you need to show them that you have a license. And license isn't a piece of paper; it's usually a large metal or ceramic seal that you display. He goes, "I've seen them everywhere. I do not know how they come by them. They're not rare. But if you don't have one,
Interesting.
if you do the thing with your fingers and make the lightning happen, then you'll be in jail."
You violated the law.
Wow.
So it's not like a
Wizard
registry. You're just given something physical, and then that's proof enough.
No, I don't know. Your name may be written somewhere.
My name.
He goes, "A name."
Very well.
Huh. Sounds like an interesting place.
Well, it is very interesting. It is just not. It is not. It is very crowded and full of laws. And they all go, yes, full of laws. Yes. They go back to. They go back to. Yeah.
Delightful.
Yes.
And I light a cigarette with a plume of flame.
As well. We have no restriction against that.
In your wooden ship.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, we trust that you're not going to burn the ship that you're on to the ground.
I'll be careful.
Niels, I will talk to to your earlier question, I will talk to the men and see if there is anyone that we know that might be a good person to talk to. But he says, I imagine depending on the current state of the city when we arrive there, virtually everyone there would hire you.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah.
Especially actually, are you guys famous enough? Like, I don't think any of these guys have ever heard of you.
I never heard of us or just the chain
The
in general.
chain, probably not. Like,
Oh.
you guys are famous in a lot of places, but these guys don't go, like, they live on this boat.
Right.
They only know about the things that people who come to the boat tell them
Port
about.
cities.
Yeah.
Yeah. But probably in Capital, they probably heard about us.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I-
there's
I
a
mean-
certain population
I mean-
there that has definitely heard of us.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I would say like the average citizen probably has not heard of you.
Mhm.
But anybody that's like paid attention, and in fact, if this you guys spend a lot more time at this dinner than we're going to spend in this conversation.
Mhm.
So you guys talk about a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
So later on, like after if it comes up, you guys can say, "Hey, did we ever find out this
Mhm.
from those guys in that dinner?"
Right.
And the answer is probably going to be yes, because even though we didn't talk about it here,
Right.
you guys spent all night talking to these guys.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I forgot what were you? Oh, the like he will say at one point, anybody who reads the papers will probably have heard of you.
Mm.
That's actually the phrase he uses. Or he might say the sheets. Anybody who reads the sheets will probably have heard of you.
Nice. I like that.
Would we know what he's referring to?
I don't know. Do you know what he's referring to?
Should I like roll a thing?
Well, I mean, you can. Has Nails been to Capital?
Probably not.
Then no.
Okay.
Then no.
So this is something that is sort of capital.
Well,
Centric.
you've seen things like this before where he's using a phrase that everyone he knows uses all the time and so often that it doesn't occur to him to explain it.
Right.
It doesn't occur to him that you guys might not know what the sheets are.
Gotcha.
Even though you as players might know if you just
Right.
think about it.
So I would imagine probably whenever we get in, like there's got to be somebody that we can just basically tell, like, hey, the chain's in town, right? That would spread that word.
Well, I'm sure it'll spread as soon as we hit the
I mean,
docks.
it's
Then
very-
show
Yeah,
up
maybe
with,
it'll
like,
just
merch.
do it on its own. I don't know.
We're showing up with
Yeah.
basically a unit of infantry, so
With
Yep.
signs
it's
on
gonna
it.
be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
The navigator, who you guys now know is Diego, is very dark skinned, dark. He looks like a Hazardite. He looks like somebody from Corsair. Again, talks with a thick Rio accent.
Mhm.
He's eating and he's like, they already know.
Who runs the sheets?
I don't know what their proper name is, but it's the Broadsheet Guild. Actually it's it is a woman. It is a woman. I do not know that I have ever seen her, but I have seen her her second. I have seen her. What is the name? What is the name they use for him? And the captain says, editor. He goes, yes, I have seen her, editor. Yes, and he is and he makes this gesture and he says he's crystal dragon person thing.
What?
Whoa,
A dragonborn?
Dragonborn.
Yes, and they control the news. They control all the information. They control what people know.
Mm.
He says he's crystal.
Yeah, he's a gemstone dragonborn.
Oh, neat.
Sweet.
Yeah, and he's the editor of he's the kind of second in command of this guild, and they have a monopoly on printing the broadsheets.
Mm.
It's like a technological monopoly. Says they have some technique they have developed that allows them to make many copies of something very quickly, very cheaply. The paper disintegrates almost immediately, but the Engravers Guild cannot keep up.
There's an engravers guild too.
Yeah, and it used to be really powerful. In fact, if it, like just a couple of years ago, it would have been one of the guilds being able to buy its way into the nobility. But then this woman came along, and she had this technique that no one else understands that allows her. It might be the ink, might be the paper. He doesn't know.
Interesting.
He remembers a time when there was no such thing as there were like town criers, and that was or you could subscribe. He has maybe not use that word, but you could subscribe to an Engravers Guild thing that they would send out like once a month, and that was the closest you got to news.
Right.
And then suddenly the whole city changed once the broadsheets came out. What these guys say, people think is true.
I'm sure.
And there's almost no competition. There is more than one sheet,
Mhm.
right? He calls them, but they're all like licensed from this one guild. He goes, so they say they're independent, but how independent can they be? If they wanted to print something that was critical of the Broadsheet Guild, would they be allowed to? Would they be able to continue using the presses? Yeah. This is super interesting to me. So yeah, like you guys are gonna know, depending, it's up to, how much you're gonna remember when you're drinking and eating and having this conversation. Who knows? But you guys are gonna learn a lot about capital, because these guys, the reason all these guys have thick Rioan accents is because even though their grandparents or whatever were born in different places, they were all born and raised in capital.
Right.
That's where this crew came from.
Judge doesn't
Before Lady
drink.
Messingham won the ship. What?
The judge doesn't drink.
Judge, does anybody else not drink?
I drank with nails, but not at dinner.
Okay.
I'm taking notes.
Judge is like,
I don't acknowledge Judge.
Is there anything else you guys want to know about capital? I mean, Gadesto loves talking about it. It's his hometown.
Well, I mean, I definitely want the breakdown of the guilds and noble houses and
That's
all
easy
that.
to do.
But that's,
There's a Google Doc.
yeah.
That.
Well, I would like to read that
Okay.
as
Easy.
a player.
Easy.
Google Docs.
So you'll probably have
Gadesto.
access.
Gadesto dog.
He'll. I'll share with you some of the stuff that we did in the world building streams, and that'll be something that as a result of these conversations, and you'll be kind of the local expert in the chain based on. Although I guess you guys are all there, so I can share it to all of you. Like this is what King and Gadesto talked about that night, and it'll be like a pressy. It'll be just a super high level overview of what's going on in the city. Gadesto, of all of them, the rest of them are happy to have other conversations about just anything else, including speculation about what happened in Capital at Black Bottom and whether or not they're going to get in trouble. Like they think they'll probably be fine. These orcs are just going to have disappeared, right? Like there's probably no record of them ever coming on the ship in the first place. Now they're all dead. So They think they're probably going to be fine. And stuff like this happens at sea all the time. So they're not super worried about if they're going to get in any kind of trouble, but that's the kind of stuff they're talking about. And what Ajax was doing, it's all just pure dinner time curiosity. What was Ajax doing in Black Bottom? Did he know? Was he there for any other reason? Is he just there to kill some elf lady? That seems super strange. But Gadesto loves talking about capital for some reason.
And yeah, I'll ask him, is it, as we were leaving, we saw the sparrow get crushed by some giant sea creature. Is that common?
No, that like Lady Massingham is like common. No.
Have you ever seen that happen before?
I've seen many strange things at sea, and there are monsters in the deep, and I've heard stories, but I've never personally witnessed any kind of like sea monsters attacking a ship. Yeah. She says, no, I've never seen. I've never witnessed anything like that before, and I don't think any of us will forget it. And several of the crew knew people on the Sparrow.
How long have you been a captain?
I've been captain. 10 years now. 10 years since Ajax came to Vasloya.
When we were going through the orc stuff and getting rid of it, did you find any paperwork or anything like that?
I mean
they're orcs, but
I'm sure that Ground Commander Vortikov has a lieutenant, and that lieutenant kept a log, so you guys can salvage that log.
Okay.
Does it seem like they overstated their importance to Ajax?
Who's asking that? Is Anna asking that? Is Judge asking? If so, who's Judge asking now? There's not a right or wrong answer, by the way. It just is going to color the answer I give you.
I think it's Anna asking to understand the inflection, because like the orc, for example, was just like, oh, like Ajax will make it personal. Oh god.
Make an insight check.
You have like a million insight.
It's
though.
not. No,
It's
it's
only plus eight.
wisdom.
Insight's wisdom.
Oh.
Wisdom is the
I have a good
the
insight.
Which
Achilles
is
heel of the
so
chain.
So dumb. Wait, insight could be charisma.
No.
Yes, it
That
could,
doesn't make
because
any
you're reading
sense.
faces and you're good at reading people, which is a
That's-
charismatic skill.
You're good at seeing it and detecting it, but the conclusions you draw from it are based on your wisdom.
I actually have advantage on insight checks.
Yeah. You have advantage? Just in general?
If I spend a grit point,
Huh. I
Well,
wonder why that is.
you're-
Like, is that from being like a boxer? And then you would, like,
No, it's a
break-
Bloodhound Bruisers features. So
That's
my
the game
like,
you ran with.
yeah, my school, my fighting school, one of the things that they're good at is like they're almost like kind of sleuthy.
I get it.
So
Sure,
yeah,
they're like the Baker Street irregulars. Like,
yeah, like it's called the feature is called detective work.
Yeah.
It says you gain proficiency with insight and perception. In addition, you make an insight and perception ability check. You spend one grit
Grit.
point and gain advantage on that ability check.
yeah. So
Well, I
this is
don't-
this is when you were younger. When you were younger, and part of that, and probably a super useful thing to have as a lieutenant,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm totally okay with letting Commander Sweet ask this question, considering I'm not the one who punched that orc in the back of the head.
Well, Judge could just ask Commander Sweet, "Hey, what do you know?" I'm not role playing Judge, but
We're
What
looking.
did you think about
We're
that
looking
guy?
at the journal. Yes,
You can
Is
be,
that-
yeah, the
is
log,
that-
yeah.
Is that where we're sort of trying
Oh.
to glean this information from?
yeah. Sure.
Let's see here. Hold on a second. This was insight.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 22.
There was certainly a little bit of self-aggrandizement.
Yeah.
But
an orc.
but no. I mean, he seemed to be. There are probably he was presenting he and his troops as some of the Ajax's best, and they were able to go toe to toe and knock some of you guys down.
Yeah.
Right. Like none of the rank and file guys in the chain could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. None of the junior officers could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. If they walked up to Sweet and punched him, Sweet would not even notice.
Mm-hmm.
So even though you guys made short work of them, they probably are some of Ajax's best. But Ajax has a whole bunch of different units that he's gathered from all different places, and a lot of places defect. A lot of places want to be a lot of like elite troops, soldiers, armies.
They want to be on the winning side.
like Delta, all these different countries and duchies and stuff. They're Delta forces. Some of them want to be on the winning side, and so he has collected like there are rumors now that the Sand Scorpions, who are the Pharaoh's elite troops, now work for Ajax. That their commander defected, but there was a whole religious upheaval. So in before Ajax ever got there, in Kahamara, so he was he might have been like he certainly seemed to think that if you guys went with him back to the Chrysopolis, that maybe like you guys would all be executed, maybe not, but that the chain would end up being like this incredibly well treated. You'd be given wine and great food and great uniforms and whatever kind of mates that you prefer, and treated like elite soldiers so that you would love Ajax and fight and die for him, because that's what he does for the orcs.
Mm-hmm.
Basically become fanatics.
Yeah, like and much like those orcs are. Yeah, so
Right.
there's a certain amount of like, hey, we're the best of the best. Well, that's probably not true, but they're really good.
Yeah. Okay. That's good to know.
And the ledger just has lists. It has money paid out to the troops, money collected from Ajax's treasury, and an itinerary. And the itinerary has them in a couple different places in Black Bottom, including Dalrath. And then it lists Black Bottom last. And from Black Bottom, they're just going to a port city.
Did they have a treasury?
Yeah. Well, they didn't have a treasury like yours.
Right.
Like the commander had some money,
Mhm.
and his lieutenant was the Shane that had some money.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not enough to increment the treasury die.
What was the list of places they'd been to?
There's a long list of places:
What was the most recent?
Dalrath, and then Black Bottom, and then the next was to. And there's no like he talks about in the ledger. He talks about receiving orders, but what those orders are, you guys don't see. There's no record of those.
What? I'm just gonna pretend to pick up pick the contractor. I'm gonna ask you two actually, because you probably know it. Where's Kenway from?
Dalrath. He's Baron Dalrath, right?
Well, if we
He
think-
was, and now he's the Duke of Andrew.
Duke. Oh.
That's convenient. When did that happen?
By the way, EJ said
Whenever
he
he-
would never give that shield up.
Whenever
Well,
he
yeah, I believe EJ.
whenever he killed that kid.
That was part of the
Oh, yeah.
process. Yeah.
How long ago would that have been?
Well, there's no way for Judge. Judge doesn't know anything about that stuff.
Oh, right.
Um,
But would we have heard about him ascending to?
That's all like super local politics in a faraway place that the chain doesn't care about, or has not cared about up until now. I mean, some of you guys are from Vasloria,
Mm-hmm.
but like Sweet grew up in the streets of Black Bottom, but that was 20 years ago.
Right.
And even then, like Dalrath is to Black Bottom, like what Saskatchewan is to Orange County. It's like
Right.
far north and weird, obscure.
It was the deserts that they were going to afterwards.
Yeah, they're going to
How
the
old do you
Indian
think my guy is?
I don't know.
20 years
imagine,
ago.
I imagine. Well, because you were, I'm in my mind. That was like when you were a teenager.
Right. Okay.
So unless and you have since risen, and you wrote 5 pages of backstory. So I assume you're in like your early 30s.
Mid.
Have we talked yet, kind of together as like the senior officers about how we think that we were set up?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
Is that a conversation you want to have amongst the crew of?
No, I thought we were looking at the log. Sorry,
Yes.
I thought we'd like migrated to like a different scene.
Yeah, but we can wrap up the dinner with the. And in fact, if there's anything else you remember you want to ask these guys, we can kind of go back in time.
Yeah.
And you can ask them. But otherwise,
Sweet
you
needs
guys are
work-
gonna be
needs
full-
a long rest.
yeah, I imagine a couple of you all probably do.
Yeah.
All right. Hit dice.
If he can get one. He wants to take a
So you guys are full. Some of you of good alcohol. All of you of food, and then hugely rich dessert. Like, you guys have had better meals because you guys have been all over the place.
Mhm.
But this is some of the best dessert you've ever had.
Nice.
Right? It's one of those things where they got to keep the people happy. And dessert is you spend a little money and make it really good.
Judge doesn't partake in sweets.
Does Judge not eat?
Judge doesn't partake in fun.
No,
Cadesto cuts some of the pudding up and says,
I
"Oh, here it is. It is."
slide it to
I
copper.
didn't eat that? No, okay.
Well, I will. Cadesto grabs some of it.
You gonna do anything about that
over,
copper?
And he's like, "Why? Oh, it's delicious. Why not have some?
Rot your teeth.
How do you?" I can't argue with that.
What did you think?
I said rot your teeth.
Rot your teeth. Rot your teeth. Rot your teeth. Yeah. So somebody drew fan art of Judge and gave him little like spiky teeth.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if you remember looking at the reference and stuff, but basically, like, he's got a mouth full of teeth.
Oh no, I
Like,
don't remember that.
I don't know if you've seen
The reference I remember was is it the guy who plays the Flash?
Yeah,
What's that guy's name?
Ezra Miller.
There was a bunch of pictures of Ezra Miller, and I was like, what?
Look, it's just reference, okay?
I was like, that's fine. I was like, yeah, but that's what I remember about Judge.
Yeah, well, like,
Judge is a pretty boy.
yeah. So then, but Teeth though is like it's like the live action version of Maleficent, where it's Angelina Jolie because like
Yeah.
the sharp cheekbones, and
I
then
get
whenever he
it.
smiles, it's like all those teeth
Wow,
with like
nice.
extra pointy canines.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
So when you say rot your teeth, I think Cadesto's like, well, you would know. You were well supplied in the tooth department. I see.
Teeth.
It was one of the first things I noticed about you. Second thing I noticed.
They
Third
grow
thing I
back,
noticed.
right?
Fourth thing I noticed. Yes, that's why I copied it. Teeth. Like, yeah. More dessert. You have the best teeth of all of the goblin officers.
Oh, yes.
Undisputed. Best
Best-
teeth of all the goblin officers.
Best dental plan
Yes,
we could get you on.
100%. So yeah, you guys are able to talk after, and like this is the before the dinner with the captain. There's a lot of the ship business happening in and amongst around you guys. But after dinner, you guys are able to go back to your cabins, or in fact, the captain can sort of tell that you folks need to want to talk. And she goes, "The crew are going to go. We're all like the first watch. So for us, it's time to sleep. If you guys want to use this as like our conference room, you're more than welcome to."
Thanks.
And they all head off to bed. And the ship is
Whee!
Rocking us to sleep.
no, it's not that kind of. It's more roller coastery. It's more like it's more the vomit comet going up
Vomit
and
comet?
down, up and down.
We're fine.
So are we now just
Alone
in
Sure.
the?
with the ledger. Yeah. Was there any, if it, so? Yeah.
Some places refusing somebody's food is an insult.
We'll just have to suck it up. What?
I roll.
I
You do the old scoop by the other side of your face. Come on, Anna.
What?
Scoop up.
You
Oh,
scoop
just-
by the other side, throw it over your shoulder. You're on a boat. It could fall everywhere.
just like-
Come on.
Yeah, just like smear it on your face a little.
Yeah, oh, so
Mm,
good.
good.
Just makes me think of the gif of the.
Sorry,
kid.
this is super tangential. Anyway.
The ice cream.
Tangents are a big part of this game.
It was somewhat related. Okay, so we have the lieutenant's log. Were they orc or half orc?
They're war breed.
What is okay? So I don't know what war breed is.
So there aren't just half orcs walking around in the world. right? Just like there aren't half octopuses in our world, right? Orcs are a distinct species from humans. And the way you get half orcs is you have access to powerful rituals. And there may be other people that have access to these rituals, but Mortem definitely has access to the ritual that makes half orcs. And the half orcs he made, he called the Warbreed. And they are smarter than orcs, right? But they're
They're like
strong.
Urukai.
Yeah, exactly. They're smarter. They're smarter than orcs. They're way more disciplined than orcs. They will take orders. They will self-organize. Like in the absence of anybody to tell them what to do, they will give themselves a hierarchy. But they are much stronger, have much greater endurance than men. They'll fight longer. They're way more like savage in battle.
Holy
And so from Ajax's point of view, they're the perfect soldiers. And he can just make more. He can just make them. And Good King Omund, who was kind of the first to fall, of Vazlori was the first country to fall. Good King Omund had his own elite shock troops. There were the Dragon Phalanx, and they were all Dragonborn paladins. And the Warbreed broke them. The Warbreed were basically like genetically engineered to stop the Dragon Knights. So that's what those guys were. They were half orcs.
They only took one of my arrows and they're dead.
Yeah.
That's strong.
But, you know, you're the best ranger.
Oh,
Best
right,
ranger.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as good as you, Copper. Okay. Yeah. So we're going through the log, and I think because I probably want to discuss that. You know how why did Ajax show up to that? That seemed weird, and the guy was disguised, also weird
Yeah.
for this contract.
I was supposed to shoot him with the
kill
arrow and it
Sariel.
just
Changed.
I mean, this is not.
Well, it is
He
to
knows
lure
what
out.
to kill Sariel.
Yeah, it's to lure out Sariel, I think, so he could get to her.
I mean, it sounds like Sariel's pretty openly out for Ajax.
Yeah. That means we are probably in a bad spot for having taken a contract with them as far as Ajax is concerned.
Well, how would they know? I mean,
Well-
they know the chain was there and we struck against him, but
Well, I think that's probably enough, don't you think? Making an organized effort to assassinate
Well, listen,
this wizard.
they did know that the chain. This was a secret mission.
Mhm.
The orcs on that boat knew that we were there to make a strike against.
Yeah.
I don't think
Mortem.
he even mentioned the wizard's name,
Mm-mm.
but they know that we were there to make a strike
well, they
against
know
Ajax,
we were in town. Remember,
which
we were there for
means-
days.
which means that. Well, they don't know why we're there. We just finished up a contract in Pharaoh. We're just there
Correct.
spending all our money on
Correct, and things with
Booze
the
and
shit, and a bunch
a
of
good
guys
time.
with the
And-
signs.
Apples.
I don't know books
Apples.
or apples, whatever.
There's actually
Whatever you were-
the old
Booze and apples.
old Conan role playing game. Like you were obligated. There was a mechanic that required you to spend like half of your money on carousing.
Nice.
That's a good word.
Like the town went to shit, and we showed up and jumped on a boat with. We have the chain symbols on us. It's not hard to pick up who we are if we're known, right?
Yeah,
So I
everyone
don't
was
think
trying to jump on boats, though.
Well, correct. So I mean, I guess
follow my
he
logic
did make
here
the
for a
comment
second.
about you didn't try to kill him.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, he made that comment.
And also in the log here, it shows that they were just in Dalmoroth before coming to Black Bottom. Does it have dates?
Seems
It does. Yeah, it does. But it's in. Yeah, and you can. It's not in. Well, like these guys used what's called the old calendar, which is the Kalian. It's the same calendar everybody in Orden uses now, except the Vandermen don't use it. But their names for everything are like Latin, basically. And every place else in Orden uses the same calendar, same number of months, same number of days in a week. Everything else, they just call everything by different names. And this is obscure. Using the kind of the old names for the months and days is weird.
Does it seem like it's intentionally coded?
Could be.
seems pretty obvious that they were, you know, that the Rebel Alliance, so to speak, has somebody, a mole,
There's a traitor. Yeah.
somebody
Because-
informing.
Ajax wouldn't have shown up unless he knew
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I
He's not going to
I
show
would
up
presume.
for us, you know.
Yeah, he's not going to show up for us. He wouldn't have like he knew that we were there to try to assassinate Mortem. Otherwise, he wouldn't have disguised another one of his agents there. And I don't think he would have shown up himself unless he was trying to, unless he knew that there was a chance that Sariel might show up.
Right.
So somebody betrayed Lady Sariel.
Yeah.
And in a roundabout way,
Us.
us. Like, you
Yeah.
know, we got caught in the crossfire essentially.
Right.
Who was all at the meeting again? It was Lady Cyril, Kenway, and then it was
Nicodemus.
Nicodemus. There was nobody else there?
Mm-mm.
So I was wondering if, because Lady Avelina is Kenway is like,
Oh wait, yeah,
Wait,
Lady
second.
Evelina, wasn't she there too? It was Kenway, just the three of them.
She's mentioned in the contract.
yeah,
She's the only person mentioned in the contract that wasn't there.
I see. Okay.
Lady Evelyn is mentioned in the contract. None of you guys have ever met her. But she's
Nicodemus
mentioned.
wasn't mentioned in the contract.
He,
No,
was,
he
he, was,
said,
he was
uh,
mentioned as a witness, I think.
Yeah, he
Ah,
was
as a
marked as witness.
Yes. It actually explicitly says like the contract is technically from Kenway
Right.
because Lady Cyril doesn't have like the legal power to enter into a contract.
Right.
Or she's a vampire and wouldn't do it.
Mm.
But Kenway says, I'm the one paying you guys to do this.
Mhm.
And if I die and you guys complete the contract, then any of these people will pay you.
Mhm.
And he lists Lady Cyril, Baron Nicodemus, or Lady Evelina.
Mm.
And I think it refers to Lady Evelina as his lieutenant.
Yeah.
And lists her as one of the Knights of the Coals,
Right.
whatever that is.
Hmm.
And none of us have heard that term. Like, could we make a check
Yeah, that
for
sounds
it?
like a new thing.
I think if you have a Vaslorian background,
Mhm.
then you could probably make a check and see. Like a history check.
Sure.
My guidance, Phil.
You're gonna so you get an extra D4 on top of that. So it's pretty typical for me to restrict who can make different rolls based on their character's background. Because like I'm not Russian.
Oh wait.
There's no
Sorry.
way. There's no way I would know something obscure about
Should
some
be rolling two
cultural.
dice.
Russia.
That
So
makes
it's
sense.
like if somebody's asking about, oh, what's going on with these weird elf things? I'm like, well,
Yeah.
it's
We'll just
only-
pretend that I'm asking like
22.
the Vaslorians in the group.
22?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, you've heard the Knights of the Coals are the Dalrath kind of secret police.
Gotcha.
But I think there's only like there's a really small number of them. I don't know if you would know how many there are,
Mhm.
but the phrase that they use is like you'll be dragged over the coals,
Mm.
right? And a lot of people think that that's a euphemism for just the Baron is going to come and grab you and put you in the docks.
Right.
But Sweet has probably been in Black Bottom when one or more of the Knights of the Coals has been there for various reasons. Because Black Bottom is like the central port city for that whole region.
Mhm.
So you see people from Dalrath there all the time.
Yeah. Cool.
I mean, they are so the people of Dalrath, especially like the Knights of the Coals, are notorious for being like chaotic good, but super on the chaotic side.
Mhm.
Like chaotic good question mark, like by any means necessary, do whatever it takes.
Mhm.
Because they live right on the edge of like two savage forests. They're surrounded by enemies, and those enemies are all barbarians or like elf guerrilla warfare people. So just being alive up there is tough.
Right.
And so they have a very different idea of what like chaotic good means.
I think we should be wary of Kenway. Because if they went to Dalrath, I wonder if they're the one. He's the one. that
Well,
they
didn't we
spoke
kind of
with.
talk about last week that we thought Serial had planned for it to, like, wanted to make a stab at Ajax, actually? Like, she showed up and tried to shank him. Seems like that was kind of her plan, right? The mist was there. Well, I guess meta, because we know about Serial from previous characters, but her abilities. But the mist swirled, she showed up, and she stabbed at Ajax.
I don't know. It seemed more like a move out of desperation than being that thought out.
I don't know.
Yes,
Well,
that
she's
seems
dead now,
fairly-
so we don't have to
No.
worry about her.
That seems
You
fairly
guys hear this
foolish.
long, sonorous, very musical, this echoes through the walls of the ship. You guys have been on ships before. It's a whale.
Mm.
Okay.
I was like,
very-
big
It's this
cat?
very eerie, distant, almost banshee-like sound. But
Mm.
you guys have been on ships before. You know what happens.
Well, I think if we're about to alternate, I might just do a quick round to see if I can catch up with at least Cook, I think, and probably Two Shoes, just to ask them,
Sure.
how'd today go?
So Two Shoes is up on the top deck,
Mhm.
and are you gonna go meet? It's a her. Two Shoes is her.
Two Shoes are her.
And she is talking to one of the guys on watch. You gonna go talk to her?
Yeah.
Okay. She'll excuse herself. It's night, the ship, as you know, it's easy for us to forget, but your characters can't forget that the ship is constantly, under these huge waves, and it's getting worse. Like there's who knows how bad it's going to get, but it gets progressively worse with each hour. It is clear skies, stars, constellations that I would imagine you guys would recognize. I don't know if Judge recognizes the constellations here in this world, or how much attention Judge would ever have paid to it. But yeah,
Navigator.
Two Shoes reports.
Okay. Anything unusual
Uh,
or anything of interest? I guess.
she goes, if there is, they're not telling me.
Well,
Is
you're
there
kind of
other-
difficult to approach.
She says I have my standards. And she goes, and many of these people do not meet them. But yeah, she's like, she's talked to a lot of people. They seem well disposed to us. They don't seem to have any secrets. They seem to be, at least as far as she can tell, they are what they seem. They're a boat full of kind of like smugglers, pirates, legitimate businessmen, depending on,
Circumstance.
depending on circumstance. Yeah, they don't seem to be hiding anything. They certainly don't seem to be friends of the Warbreed, and they were happy. They were happy to see that you guys annihilated them. And then she says, but I think, they enjoyed watching Ajax's troops dispatched, and they didn't like whatever Group Commander Vortikov did when he showed up. They did not like it. But I don't think they would tell me this, but I think they're worried about what happens to them now.
Yeah. Do you think you'll still need four of the lower officers to keep guard on the treasury?
You're asking me, in my opinion, absolutely. I'm not sure the 4 is enough. These people don't have law or rules. They just what they can get away with. You know what Riomas are like. She says.
I can probably give you one more.
Ooh, we got a flag for that.
Probably.
She was. I
you-
need it. Yeah, I think
Alright.
she was. I think that.
I'll
I
give you
think
one
that,
more and see
that
if you do.
if left alone, definitely we would find that the. She goes, each one of them, I'm sure, would only think, look how much money there is. They would quickly pick the lock. They'll only take 5 or 10 gold, but then every sailor on the ship does, and suddenly we have money. She seems super judgmental.
Well, just 2 shoes.
Says Judge.
It's 2 peas in a pod. Is the treasury itself, like the physical treasury, is it like protected
Yeah,
or
it's got a
warded?
giant lock on it. Yeah.
Is it like a normal lock though?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna give her. Where is it?
It's an expensive lock, but it's not. Yeah. And there have been, the Chronicle talks about how there have been times when the staff sorcerer would make sure that only, cast wizard lock on it. But
I
I
got
don't
it.
think Nails has that.
Thanks.
Wizard lock.
Not anymore, man.
I'm gonna give her a lock of trickery.
Ah.
I'm gonna say, I found this. Why don't you go ahead and use this to secure the
Wow, this is crazy.
box?
Where did you get this?
I don't know.
Fair
So
enough.
when you come across.
She's like, she'll use the lock of trickery
Okay.
on the treasury.
Sounds good.
Nice.
Do I have a key to that? How does that work?
I think there's 2 keys, and one is with the treasurer at all times, and the other one is with whoever the commander thinks should have it. So right
Okay.
now, I think it's the commander.
All right, sounds good.
Probably the commander had Sweet hang on to it, because I don't think the previous commander really wanted to worry about. I'm not an accountant. You take care of it.
Yeah.
Plus, there's very few people who would want to try and take a key off of Sweet.
And I want to get what her estimate is for how many crew members there are. on
You
board.
try to get what
How many crew members are on board?
on board the ship?
Yeah, not of ours,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but the.
Matt doesn't know, but it's you can do a kind of a rough.
Is it like comparable with
Approximation.
how many we have?
Yeah, I think it's on the. I think it's like no, not really. I think it's like 40 something.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Wow.
And that's considering like cramming 40 people onto this boat. That's a lot
Okay. Okay. Cool. That's good. All right. As you
because they
were.
have to have multiple shifts. They have to have crew enough to man the ship 24 hours a day, basically. Skeleton crew at night. There's many fewer people, very little motion out here. There's a point where Judge is turning to leave, having finished talking to Two Shoes about what's up, and probably planning on going back to your cabin. And the ship plunges down, just as it has hundreds of other times now. But what's happening is the sea is doing this, right? And as the sea does this, the boat is going up and down. And there's a point where, as you turn and you're looking to port off the left side of the ship, this huge wave, while you're going down, this huge wave is coming up. And there's this flash of lightning that illuminates the entire wave in front of you. And you see in this wave, only like 100 feet off the port of the ship, a giant eyeball. And it's looking really like focused. Not like when the lights, everything lights up, including you, it suddenly swivels around and focuses on Judge for a second. And there's this sense, this deep sense of intelligence and soul in this huge. At first, it's not easy to get a glimpse of like, what am I looking at? But it's a whale. It's just a whale in the water. And it's being lifted up as the ship is going down. And it looks at you for a second and has this moment of recognizing another creature. And then the ship starts going up and the water goes down and the lightning has left this green spots in your eyes.
Hate sailing. Fuck. Back under the deck.
Dale Kingsmill said, if only one of them had taken whale as a language proficiency.
I love Dale.
Dale's
So funny.
Thanks to the mod Lord Durok for communicating that to us.
All right. Sleep.
Sleep through the night. Hard to get to sleep. Many of you are exhausted. I mean, you guys have had like 2 days basically have happened. Like the last day was like a week long. So even though and you're full, so even though the ship doesn't make it easy, you guys are quickly to bed. You wake up, and your cabins don't have windows, so it's not easy to tell what time it is. But just getting out of bed, it takes a couple seconds between putting your feet on and getting up and walking around before you realize, oh, actually, is the ship moving a lot less?
Mm-hmm.
And you exit your quarters and walk up to the top deck, and the ship's not moving unless you guys are just starting to get your sea legs. So even though the ship is still, and there's this dull roar to port to the left of the ship, and the clouds the sky is now overcast, and especially to the left of the ship, the clouds get darker and darker as you go to the west.
And we're still heading north.
Yeah.
To the west.
So did we just? I'll ask one of the sailors or whatever. Did we just sail through that, or is that?
Oh, we're trying to avoid sailing through it.
Okay.
He says, but if you look, you can see that the horizon does this weird thing where it kind of goes like this, and then there's just fog, and it's miles away. But whatever this storm is, it looks almost like it's deforming the sea in this weird way, and it takes up the entire horizon, like the entire sky. Like you guys are heading that way into what looks like just more very, very choppy water. But the whole horizon to the west is
To the edge of the world.
it looks like it looks
flat
like
Earth.
the edge of the world. Yeah, absolutely. It looks like the edge of the world. Yeah, 100%.
Is that natural?
Well, have you guys ever been from like you guys?
I'll ask the guy. Have
Oh.
you ever seen anything like that?
Well, do you say that, or do you say is it natural?
I'll ask him. Have you ever seen anything like that?
Oh yes. Every time we journey to capital, or from capital.
Is that
he was on the left. He was port out and then starboard on the yes.
Is that normal?
Is it normal?
Yeah.
Oh, it's always there.
Is it natural?
Is the bales? He goes. The maelstrom is always there. Is it natural? Who can say? Says every good fantasy world has a giant maelstrom. Cadestro is very meta.
Is this voyage always like this? Is it always this rough?
Well, no. Normally we have charts and we have navigation and we have taken the time to plan and plot. But now we are sort of sailing. By the seat of our pants? I think Vasilorians say.
That's reassuring.
So it's very early in the morning. It's shortly after dawn. And stand by. And you hear someone in the crow's nest call out, and say, "Eyes to stern," and everyone turns around, and you can make out, like, if you from where you guys are, I don't think you can see the captain because she's at the wheel, which is this is like this deck is up here, so it's
Right.
up from where you guys are, but you can see Gadesto because Gadesto is standing at the front of that deck, and he turns his back to you guys, so he's looking actually from where you guys are going this way. It's if this is north and the boat is going in that direction,
Mm-hmm.
then they're looking like in this direction. So behind them and to starboard, to the east. And Gadesto looks around and goes, "Fuck."
Soon call out, what is it?
Um,
What do your own eyes see?
he climbs down and he calls out, he goes, "Dragonflies behind us."
Dragon.
And the whole crew like mobilizes.
Whoa.
And one of them turns and says, "We cannot outrun dragonflies." And Gadesto says, "Well, the captain will think of something."
What's
Do
a
we know
He
dragonfly?
says, "We are going to have an interesting day,"
Okay.
he says to you guys.
What's a dragonfly? Besides, like the bug.
Uh,
In what context?
So I'm not sure that any of you guys know what this is, but you can, if you climb up to the top deck, you'll be able to see it.
Yeah.
He's like, Gadesto's walking past you. So when you ask what's a dragonfly, he says, "Agents of the Overlord."
Oh, jeez.
Ooh.
So what do they look like?
Can you see them?
I don't know. Can I?
Well, not from down here. You'd have to get up.
No, I was gonna go up.
Yeah, then absolutely.
I'm
You can
gonna
see
run
them.
up here.
So you see these three. They're very small ships. Excuse me, my voice is starting.
So they're ships.
They chased
They're
us.
ships,
Okay.
and their hulls. They're small.
Uh-huh.
They're much smaller than this, but there's three of them.
Uh-huh.
Their hulls do not touch the water. They skim over the top of it.
Ooh, we gotta get one of those.
Mm.
Ooh.
Let's get us one of those.
Uh,
Yeah.
and the captain Massingham has her hat on and is steering the ship. And when you guys come up, she's like, "We cannot outrun them." Actually, she's not your own. She goes, "We can't outrun them."
How do those ships work? I mean, how do they have wizards on them? That's okay.
She just says like, "They're magic."
So you've seen them before.
Oh yeah.
Have you? Are we in for a fight?
Well, we're in. Yeah, they'll. The last thing they'll do is fight us. Because the first thing they'll do is they'll shred the sails and pull down the masts, and there probably won't be anything we can do about it. But we're not done for yet. She says, and she calls out and she says, "First mate, summon the seer." And you hear Gadesto's voice down there call out, "Summon the seer!" And that command goes around. And she turns to you. You guys are both up there?
Yeah.
You guys are both on the top deck?
Mhm.
Or the captain's deck.
Mhm.
She says, "You're going to love this."
Okay.
Hold on to something.
My
Yeah.
tail lashes around the canister.
Is your tail prehensile? Can you like lift things with it? Or is it like a cat's
It's
tail?
like
where it's
I don't think it's like that. It's not. It's more like a monkey's tail. Like as far as like its ability,
I
but
get
it's not like an elephant's trunk.
Got it. Okay, so it's you can. It's reflexive and it'll do things like grab onto stuff. But you start to see when the call goes out for the seer, you start to see them strapping each start strapping themselves and each other to the railings, to the mast. Everyone's tying each other down.
All right. Well, I think we should follow suit.
Got one
And
cannon.
the dragonflies are these two things are cutting through the water, and they look like beetles. They look like beetle carapaces, and they shimmer with this golden reflection. It's crazy, like specular, like they're scarab beetle hulls. They're not organic. They're ships, but whatever they're made out of, it doesn't look like wood. And they are fast.
Can we see the people on them? Are they?
Not from here. If they get close enough, you'll be able to see.
I see.
Shit.
Those of you who are on the main deck see coming up from below this old man, and he's got white hair. He's bent and hunched over. He's like gnarled, right? He's either with age or just repeated injury. The way like bones after they've been broken many times heal strangely, either old age or many fights. And it looks like he was once really tall. and not Riohan and probably not Vaslorian. And he's hunched over, and you notice he's got the shock of white hair. He's carrying this like log, like a piece of wood broken off at both ends that has all these glyphs on it. And it only takes a second to notice he has no eyes. They're just grown over skin. And as he comes up, he's shirtless. He walks out onto the deck, and all of the different Riohan crew that walk by him, they all touch his back. Every time he walks past them, they have this weird pattern that they touch on his back. And as he walks past you, you notice that he's got tattoos all over his back. He's got a grid of tattoos that's 4 across and 5 deep. And all of the crew members are all tapping these different glyphs in different orders. And then he rotates this log and touches things on the log.
Do we have any idea what they're doing? Is that insight?
Gadesto will just tell you.
Okay.
It says, oh, they are just saying, good to see you. They're saying you look good.
Oh, cool.
So that's how they talk to him.
Yeah.
It's
Can't hear.
and he can't hear.
Oh, no, he was born that way. He was born without eyes and he could not hear. And then somebody at some point decided they did not like the noises he made. And then he cut out his tongue. But a church, the church, and he names the Church of St. Verona. He goes, a church in Real, in capital, took pity on him and took him in. And no one knows where he got I think it was the church that gave him the speaking stick, is what they call it. And and they rehabilitated him, and he earned a living there and saved up enough money to buy passage on our ship back to his homeland. But the problem is, he does not know where he came from.
So when they touch the back, basically it's sort of like whenever you do the sign language with people that can't hear or see.
100%.
It's like that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like chain sign.
Yeah.
Right, and he signs back. He uses this log, and he touches things, and people walking by. And Gadesto says, "Oh, he is just saying how happy he is to see them." In fact, he tells that man that he needs a haircut. He says that all the time. He cannot see, but that is his way of. Yeah.
And you just noticed the seer.
No, he has a name, but the seer is his job.
What's
He has many jobs on. He has stand by. Hrathi is his name. Hrathi. Hrathi has many jobs on board. He assists the cook. He is an excellent cook. He is great with spices. He's a very useful man to have on board. But yes, he is also the seer. I think that camera needs to be lower and flatter because every little bit, it's this it's so highly perched that any little motion causes it to jiggle back and forth.
Okay, I'll move it. Everybody close your eyes.
That everybody close your eyes is for chat because people looking at the tactical camera, all of a sudden the whole world shakes and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna throw up."
There's not really anything to see right
No,
now.
But just
maybe that'll help a little bit.
Chat has deduced that he has a code names grid on his back.
Nice.
names.
Clumpage.
Yeah.
One.
They've never been able to take him home because he does not know where he's from.
Right.
Now, we assume he is from Vanagar somewhere, but where we don't know. He looks like a Vanagarian.
So we're all strapping in.
Yeah, he said. Gadesto says, well, as Hrathi walks by, he says he will almost. He's an old man. He will almost certainly die aboard the Rosso Cielo, but he will die among friends and people who love him. He is a very useful man to have. Part of the crew, and the seer goes up to the. I think it's the forecastle. He goes up to the deck, the very small deck that's up there, and he starts chanting, but they're words that you don't understand. Like it's not a language. It's some kind of ritual this guy has, and because he can make noises with his throat, but he cannot articulate.
Right.
And his voice gets louder and louder, like Ajax's, like supernaturally loud. And it's this weird. It's almost like Tuvan throat singing. It's this weird, long, sonorous vowels, and almost like he's able to harmonize with himself. He's able to make two tones at once and create these overtones. And the dragonflies are getting closer. And the ship, at one point, starts to get closer and closer to the maelstrom. This massive, so large you can't see the other side, huge gaping maw in the ocean.
Our ship gets closer to the maelstrom?
Yeah.
On purpose?
Who are you gonna ask that to?
Okay. Who's standing near me?
Oh well, you're up here,
Captain.
right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
right
the
next to the
captain.
wheel.
All right. What are you doing, Captain?
What are we doing? She says. She points to the maelstrom,
Uh-huh.
and she says, "You want to escape the dragonflies? There's only one way. In." And then Gadesto says, "Through!" And the whole crew shouts, "Beyond!" And the ship starts to angle into the maelstrom. And it's mostly, it's like a giant wall of water.
Mm-hmm.
Even the edges of which, like you can't, it just curves off into mist miles before you, miles behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And the dragonflies are now close enough that you can see the crew, and they're all Kehamites. They're all from the Infinite Desert. They have deep tan skin. They're all bald, but these ships don't have the sigil of the Pharaoh on them. They have the sigil of Ajax the Invincible.
That's those guys
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So now that rumor is confirmed.
And the ship at one point angles like it's on the edge. It's dipped into this maelstrom. It's on the upper edge. You have no idea how far down it goes.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see the bottom again. Just mist. And now the mist is it's this fog that's everywhere. And the ship goes up slightly and then starts to cascade down and starts to ride down into the maelstrom. Like it's going to go, instead of going like this, it's going to go across.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like whatever was happening before with the waves was nothing compared to this. This is like, it feels like you're going straight down. It feels like the back of the boat is going to flip over and throw you guys all into the abyss. And
I was strapped in.
are you guys all, by the way, Riohan's come up to you and they have ropes
Mm-hmm.
and they offer, they're going to tie you to something.
Yeah.
Does anybody not want to be tied to anything? Big Cat does not want to be. Big Cat's got a harness. Big Cat's
Yeah.
used to being harnessed, and so you can harness.
She's
Big
got
Cat.
one tentacle around me, trying to strap.
trying to grab on you,
Yeah.
make sure you're okay. Like they're like, does Copper need to be harnessed? It seems like Big Cat's tentacles are stronger than any rope we might use. And so as you guys are heading into the maelstrom, going down this incredibly steep pit, giant ocean-wide pit of water, there's a wall of water coming toward you, impossibly. Like there's no way physics would allow a solid wall of water to start rushing up, and it's like 60 feet high, and it's headed straight toward the front of the boat. And you can hear the Riohans talking about how, like, whatever's in there doesn't want people to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And as this wall of water gets closer and closer, you can see it's dark, it's black. Like the sea around here it's stormy, but this is this incredibly inky black wall of water. And in the wall of water, you can see stars. And the chanting from the seer continues until it's the only thing you can hear. And as the wall of water approaches the ship, about to crush it and destroy it and prevent the Rosso Cielo from entering the maelstrom, lightning bolts start to stab into the water, and the ship smashes into this tidal wave, and everything goes white. And there's no there's no pressure. The water never hits you. It looks like it's about to fall on you, and the lightning bolts fill your eyes until you can't see anything else. And when you're done blinking and your eyes resolve, you're on a flat sea. There's no maelstrom. There are no dragonflies. There's this fog up in the air, not on the ground. And the fog up in the air, there's light up there like a sun, but you can't see it. And it causes light to come from everywhere. It's this weird diffuse effect where suddenly there are no shadows. It feels as though the ship is in a giant room. Like a giant, like that's that feeling of this really well lit interior, but there's water everywhere. It's just not. And the Riohans are all like, and they start untying each other. And you notice that Nails has collapsed. When they untie Nails, he falls to the ground and he is unconscious. And I will see everybody next week.
Oh my god.
You're the worst.
What the hell was that?
Crazy.
So I think we're probably,
so
I think that's
cool.
the stream, folks. I think
Yeah.
we're just going to hang out and leave the cameras running while people have their after action discussion, and then at some point I will hit the. I don't know if I have a "we're done" button actually. I don't think I do.
Oh my gosh, you touched a whole bunch of buttons on that
I know
thing.
you just pushed some.
Sorry,
Right.
that didn't happen.
So at some point we will say goodbye. But instead of us hanging up and this discussion happening afterwards, we're just gonna leave the cameras running. But
The camera's running right now.
yeah, we're gonna be live until at least for a little while.
You dead, bro?
No.
Hope not.
Is there anything about your character you want to share with us?
Well, we can keep like